Chapter 3170. Book 1. Chapter 115, Seal. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as a massive alchemist army attacked another sect faction. This sect was called the Volcano Sect, and it was a sect in the ancient STEM domain. After the Volcano Sect was destroyed, the ancient STEM domain lost another Royal Kingdom faction. This was the second faction in the ancient STEM domain to be destroyed. Now that a Royal Kingdom faction had been destroyed, there was no need to even mention the smaller factions. The ancient STEM domain was in quite a difficult situation. Zhao Fu quickly received this news and could not help but sigh. Before, Zhao Fu had planned to destroy the factions opposing Qin after he became powerful. However, it seemed that they would be destroyed by the other worlds before Zhao Fu even had to do anything. Zhao Fu did not feel too happy because Qin Kingdom's situation was not good either. A few more days later, Zhao Fu received another piece of news. The Ice Origin Kingdom, which was Bing Qishua's kingdom, was facing attacks from two card world kingdoms and was in danger. They were asking for help from various factions, hoping that some factions would be able to help them. However, everyone was struggling to protect themselves, so how could they help the Ice Origin Kingdom? After hearing about this, Zhao Fu sank into his thoughts. In the end, Zhao Fu decided to go and have a look. Bing Qishue was his friend in the past, but he had led the Ice Origin Kingdom to attack Qin Kingdom, so he was now Qin Kingdom's enemy. Zhao Fu would not show any mercy. The Ice Origin Kingdom was located within an icy plain, and Zhao Fu went there. All he could see was pure white snow. The weather was cold, and there was a clear blue sky. Of the two alchemist factions, one was attacking from the north while the other was attacking from the east. Neither faction had any intention of working together and wanted to conquer the Ice Origin Kingdom to obtain the most benefits. Otherwise, if they allied together, the Ice Origin Kingdom would not be able to defend. The entire Ice Origin Kingdom was in a haze, and they did not know how much longer they could defend. If they could not defend, the outcome would be dire. It had been 4 days since they had sent out the request for help, but not a single faction had replied. The Ice Origin Kingdom seemed to have expected this, but they still held onto some hope. Within a room made of white snowwood, Bing Qishue worriedly looked at the documents in his hands. There were two people next to him, one with a tall figure and one with a bewitching figure. They were called Bing Xiong and Bing Yan. Bing Xiong said solemnly, "Your Highness, the alchemy families in the East are already preparing for the next wave of attack. What should we do?" Bing Qishue sighed as he said, "We can only defend with our lives on the line. If we can't hold on, our Ice Origin Kingdom will perish." Bing Yin said with an ugly face, "If it was just one alchemy force, it would be fine. Our Ice Origin Kingdom could still resist it. However, there are two alchemy forces at the same time. It's too much pressure for our Ice Origin Kingdom. Especially when we attacked Qin, we lost a lot of troops. If we don't suffer any losses, we might be able to resist the attack of the two alchemy forces." Bing Xiong said, "His Highness has been persuading many people to attack Qin, but the higher-ups insisted. Now they have harmed themselves. Maybe our Ice Kingdom will perish before Qin threatens us." Bing Qishue sighed as he said, "Things have already come to this. There's no point in saying any more." Bing Yin looked at Bing Qishue and said probingly, "If your Highness can replace His Majesty and become the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom, I think that our Ice Origin Kingdom might have a chance." Bing Xiong said, "Your Highness, I also think that this is the right thing to do. You should become the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom. Many people in the Ice Origin Kingdom support you, and it's time for His Majesty to abdicate." Bing Qishue's expression became cold as he said, "Don't mention this matter again, and don't leak it out." Hearing this, the two of them did not dare to say anything else. Bing Qishue said coldly, "You two can leave for now. Let me have some time alone." "Yes, Your Highness." The two of them replied and left the room. After the two of them left, Bing Qishue continued to think to himself. He had thought about forcing his father to abdicate and become the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom. However, this was a crime punishable by death, and if he failed, everyone related to him would die. This period of time was quite special They could not allow anything to happen to the Ice Origin Kingdom, as even a small accident could lead to the destruction of the Ice Origin Kingdom. Even if he wanted to rebel, he should not do it now. After Bing Yin left the residence, she walked down a street and suddenly heard a familiar voice. She was startled. Could it really be him? Bing Yin quickly chased after that person. "Are you that, sir?" Bing Yin ran behind that person and anxiously called out. Zhao Fu turned and gave a trace of smile as he said, long time no see." Bing Yin looked quite happy. She knew that this person was an imperial prince who had shaken the ancient stem domain. It was just that he had disappeared, and no one paid much attention to him. However, he had now appeared in the Ice Origin Kingdom. If they had this imperial prince's help, perhaps their Ice Origin Kingdom would be able to defend against two alchemist factions. Bing Yin immediately said, "Sir, can I take you to His Majesty's residence? If he knows that you're here, he'll be very happy." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "No need. I'm just passing by and will leave soon." Zhao Fu purposefully said this so that no one could see his true intentions. Bing Yan's heart sank and her expression became quite unsightly as she hurriedly said, "Sir, please don't leave. We need your help." Zhao Fu looked around and said, "This is not the place to talk." Bing Yan said, "Please come with me then." Zhao Fu followed Bing Yan to her residence, and Bing Yan half knelt as she said, "Emperor, our Ice Origin Kingdom truly needs your help." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "It's about two alchemist factions, right? I've already heard about it." Bing Yan smiled and looked hopefully at Zhao Fu as she said, "Then can you help us, Emperor?" Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "Even though I want to help, I'm just one person and won't be able to defend against two armies." Bing Yan's expression became quite unsightly. If it was just Zhao Fu by himself, he would not be able to defend against two armies. She did not know what to do. Zhao Fu looked at her and said, "You can get up." Hearing this, Bing Yan disappointedly stood up. Zhao Fu said, "I'm leaving." Bing Yan stopped Zhao Fu and said, "Emperor, can you stay?" Even though it was impossible for Zhao Fu to defend against two armies by himself, with Zhao Fu's extraordinary abilities, staying in the Ice Origin Kingdom would bring him great benefits. Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile and lifted Bing Yan's chin. Bing Yan looked a bit shy and did not resist Zhao Fu. After some time, Bing Yan nestled in Zhao Fu's embrace and smiled as she asked, "Emperor, can you stay now?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded as he said, "I'll do my best to help you, but you have to keep my identity a secret because I don't want it to be revealed." Chapter 3171 Book 1, Chapter 116 War. Bing Yan asked, "Even His Majesty can't tell him?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Don't tell him for now." Bing Yan said, "Emperor, the alchemy faction from the east is about to attack. What should we do?" Zhao Fu hugged Bing Yan and smiled as he said, "Leave it to me." Bing Yan said happily, "Thank you, Emperor." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "You don't have to call me Emperor. You're my woman now." Bing Yan smiled shyly as she said, "Husband, I never thought that I would have the qualifications to be your woman. I'm already very satisfied with just being your maid." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Do you remember how you treated me the first time we met?" Bing Yan lightly laughed as she said, "I'm sorry." Back then, Bing Yan had been Bing Qishua's bodyguard, and she had been very arrogant toward Zhao Fu. After seeing how powerful Zhao Fu was, she did not have that kind of attitude. Woo, a massive explosion sounded out, and hearing this, Bing Yan's expression fell as she said, "Husband, the alchemy faction from the east is about to attack the Ice Origin Kingdom again." Zhao Fu said, "Go back first." Bing Yan nodded. In the east, a large alchemy army had gathered in front of the Ice Origin Kingdom. White fox-like alchemy beasts were at the back, their cannons aimed at the Ice Origin Kingdom. On the city walls, Bing Qishue had a serious expression. He understood that this would be another bitter battle. Bing Yan hurried over, her face still slightly red. Bing Xiong asked curiously, "Where did you go? Why did you only come now?" Bing Yan smiled as she said, "I didn't go there." She then said to Bing Qishue, "Your Majesty, I didn't go there." Bing Yin said to Bing Qixue, "Your Majesty, this battle won't be so difficult." Bing Qixue looked at Bing Yin strangely. "What?" Bing Yin smiled and shook her head. Bing Qixue did not have the time to care about this, and he focused on the alchemy faction at the front. Right now, his main goal was to defend against their attack. Boom, boom, boom. Massive explosions sounded out as the alchemy holy beast shot out white beams of light that contained immense power as they blasted towards the Ice Origin Kingdom. Many ice wolves appeared on the Ice Origin Kingdom side. They had snow-white fur, and their eyes were like ice, and they gave off an incredibly cold aura. The ice wolves spewed out rays of cold light, bringing with them massive amounts of icy power as they shot forwards. Bang, bang, bang. Massive explosions sounded out as light spread out. Waves of terrifying explosive power flowed out, and strong winds blew out, blowing away countless snowflakes. Kill! The alchemy army charged towards the Ice Origin Kingdom with great momentum. The Ice Origin Kingdom quickly reacted and activated magic formations. Countless traces of icy chi gathered in the air, forming massive icicles that gave off immense power as they shot towards the Refiner army. The Ice Origin Kingdom was located in the Ice Origin and had a great geographical advantage, making it easier to cast ice and snow spells. The alchemy army gave off a white metallic energy that formed massive metallic barriers that gave off an incredibly tough aura. Bang, bang, bang. As the icicles hit the metallic barriers, they shattered and turned into countless shards of ice. Even though some of the icicles pierced through the metallic barriers, they only pierced through a bit and did not deal any damage to the alchemy army. The Ice Origin Kingdom continued to condense icicles, which gave off immense power as they shot forwards. Under the attacks of the icicles, the alchemy army's attack slowed down. The cannons on the alchemy divine beast bodies started to shoot at the icicles, causing them to explode. They also used the largest cannons on their bodies to bombard the Ice Origin Kingdom's ice wolves. They had many cannons on their bodies, so they could scatter their attacks. With the alchemy divine beast's help, the alchemy army quickly arrived within range of the Frost Kingdom. Every alchemy soldier pressed a hand against the ground, and massive waves of metal power radiated out. Metal stairs then extended towards the Frost Kingdom. The Ice Origin Kingdom immediately released a massive ice-colored defensive barrier that covered the city walls and gave off a powerful chill. The alchemy army rushed up the metal stairs, but some alchemy soldiers did not rush up and instead continued to charge towards the Ice Origin Kingdom. They all held spears in their hands. Swish, swish, swish. Using the momentum of their charge, they threw out their spears. The spears gave off intense white light and gave off shocking power as they shot towards the ice-colored defensive barrier like massive rays of light. Powerful ripples spread out, and the ice-colored defensive barrier blocked the attack, but it also started to crack. The sound of the air being torn continuously sounded out as more alchemy soldiers threw out their spears. White rays of light quickly shot towards the defensive barrier and destroyed it. Bing Qixue's expression was serious as he gave the order to continue counterattacking. Countless icicles, arrows, and chunks of ice shot towards the alchemy army. The alchemy army also shot out spears and arrows, attacking the city walls. Casualties started to appear on both sides. The alchemy army's offensive was quite fast, and just as it looked like they were about to reach the city walls, the situation suddenly changed. Countless insect beasts appeared behind the alchemy army and attacked the alchemy army, who were completely unprepared. An insect beast bit off an alchemy soldier's body, causing blood to spurt out. Another insect beast bit the arm of another alchemy soldier and threw that alchemy soldier to the side, while another insect beast pounced on another alchemy soldier and started to tear at it. An insect beast bit off an alchemy soldier's leg, causing that alchemy soldier to howl in pain as blood continuously flowed out of the wound. The scene was incredibly chaotic, and screams continuously sounded out as blood flew everywhere, and a bloody smell spread out. The alchemy soldiers started to attack the insect beasts. A alchemy soldier slashed at an insect beast, but he only left a shallow wound and did not kill the insect beast. Instead, the insect beast was enraged, and it madly pounced on the alchemy soldier and started to tear at his flesh. A alchemy soldier used his full strength and stabbed at an insect beast with his spear, piercing through the insect beast's body. Another alchemy soldier was injured by an insect beast and wanted to use alchemy power to heal him, but he found that the effects were quite weak, not even 1/5 of the normal healing effect. After all, chaos power was alchemy power. Bing Qixue looked at the back of the alchemy army being attacked by insect beasts. What was going on? How could there be so many insect beasts? Bing Yin smiled. She knew that it was definitely Zhao Fu who had done this. Now that she had the results, she believed that Zhao Fu was not wrong. Zhao Fu's abilities were quite powerful. Bing Qixue quickly came back to his senses. This was a good thing for them. He immediately ordered the army to vigorously attack, and countless attacks blasted towards the alchemy army. The alchemy army was attacked from the front and back, causing chaos, and many alchemy soldiers died. Chapter 3172. Book 1. Chapter 117. The alchemist army quickly stopped attacking and started to retreat. The insect beasts were quickly dealt with, as there were too few insect beasts compared to the alchemist army. Their sudden attack had caught the alchemist army off guard. These bug beasts were naturally released by Zhao Fu to seize the opportunity to deal a heavy blow to the alchemy army. Seeing the retreating army, the Ice Origin Kingdom's people cheered and smiled. Many people were curious as to why so many insects had appeared. This was the Heaven Awakened world, and the outer world had not started a war against the Heaven Awakened world. Bing Qixue thought of something and turned to look at Bing Yin. "Does this have anything to do with you?" Bing Yin said with a smile. "It's the help of the Lord." Bing Qixue asked curiously, "Who is that person? Why did you help my Ice Origin Kingdom?" Bing Yin smiled as she said, "Your Majesty, that Lord is not willing to reveal his identity and has promised to do his best to help the Ice Origin Kingdom. Your Highness, you can rest assured that he will not harm us." Hearing this, Bing Qixue fell into thought. They had once again successfully stopped the alchemist army, and this was a great thing for the Ice Origin Kingdom. Many people started to celebrate, and Bing Qixue's prestige in the hearts of the commoners and ministers greatly increased. Some people even wanted Bing Qixue to quickly ascend the throne and become the new king of the Icy Origin Kingdom. Within the room, Bing Yin hugged Zhao Fu and said with a smile, "Thank you for your help, husband." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "You're welcome." Bing Yin said, "But this time, the alchemy army retreated, but they will attack again. It would be great if we could drive them back to the alchemy world." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I might not be able to do it alone, unless I have the help of an army. I don't have such an army right now." In fact, Zhao Fu could rule out an army, but it would definitely not be Qin soldiers because they would be recognized directly. Zhao Fu was talking about the Dragon King army in the card world, which was another trump card of Qin. Zhao Fu did not want to expose it. Moreover, there was no need for Zhao Fu to help the Ice Origin Kingdom like this. After all, what the Ice Origin Kingdom had done, Zhao Fu still remembered. Bing Yin sighed. However, not a single army in the ancient STEM domain is willing to help us. Zhao Fu smiled and said, "If the alchemy army attacks the Ice Origin Kingdom, with my ability, I can safely take you away." Bing Yin said reluctantly, "I don't want to abandon His Highness and the Ice Plain Kingdom. This is where I was born, and His Highness thinks highly of me." Zhao Fu chuckled. "Even if you don't want to, you have to be prepared. I can guarantee that we can't resist the two alchemy armies." Bing Yin nodded. Not long after, Bing Yin received some news and left. At night, she came back with a worried expression. Zhao Fu asked curiously, "What happened?" Bing Yin said seriously, "Now that the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom is dissatisfied with our Highness, it will be very disadvantageous for our Highness. If the war ends, perhaps our Highness will be deposed." Zhao Fu asked curiously, "If he abdicates, wouldn't it be better for Bing Qixue who is more capable, to take over. Bing Yin said, "Husband, you don't understand. Right now, the Ice Origin Kingdom's king is extremely greedy for power and cannot allow anyone to threaten him. As such, he has killed many people. If you want him to abdicate, you'll have to wait until he dies of old age." Zhao Fu understood and nodded. Because of power, there were many cases of fathers killing each other and brothers killing each other. Zhao Fu then asked, "What does your highness plan to do?" Bing Yin sighed. "His highness has chosen to endure and will take the initiative to step down after the war ends. I believe that our highness is the most suitable person to inherit the throne. If he steps down, the next person to inherit the throne will be the fifth prince. Even though the fifth prince is quite talented, he cannot compare to our highness. The Ice Origin Kingdom's future is quite worrying." Zhao Fu said, "After this war ends, I'll be leaving. Do you not plan to come with me?" Bing Yin said, "I'm quite conflicted. I want to stay by your side and in the Ice Origin Kingdom." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I won't make things difficult for you and will respect your decision." Bing Yin gave a trace of smile as she said, "Husband, I know you're the best." The next day, Bing Yin said to Zhao Fu, "Husband, His Majesty's big sister wants to see you. His Majesty's sister wants to see you. Will you agree?" Zhao Fu felt quite surprised as he said, "Bing Qi Xue has a big sister?" Bing Yin smiled as she said, "She's our Ice Origin Kingdom's #1 ice beauty. Countless men have pursued her, but none of them have succeeded. With husband's abilities, it should be quite simple." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Aren't you jealous?" Bing Yin shook her head. "As long as husband doesn't abandon me, I'll support you in everything." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "All right, I'll see this ice beauty." An hour later, Bing Yin brought in a woman. This woman had a graceful figure and was peerlessly beautiful. She wore an ice-colored dress and gave off an incredibly cold aura, making others not dare to approach her. However, they could not help but like her. She was icy cold, Bing Qishue's big sister. Zhao Fu looked at icy cold, and icy cold looked back at Zhao Fu. Bing Yin smiled as she said, "You two can chat for now. I'll be leaving now." Bing Yin left the room and closed the door. Icy Cold directly asked, "Who are you? Why are you helping our Ice Origin Kingdom?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Didn't she tell you? I'm that emperor." Hearing this, Icy Cold felt incredibly shocked. She had never thought that the mysterious emperor would appear in front of her. Zhao Fu smiled as he asked, "What is it?" Icy Cold said softly, "I represent the Ice Origin Kingdom to thank you for helping us." Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "Why did you want to see me?" Icy Cold explained, "I heard from Bing Yin that there was an extraordinary person helping the Ice Origin Kingdom, so I wanted to meet him. I never thought that it would be the Emperor." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Now that you've met him, is there anything else?" Icy Cold said, "I want to ask you to help my little brother ascend the throne. I'm not doing this out of selfishness, but facing the current difficult situation. Only if my little brother ascends the throne will the Ice Origin Kingdom have a future." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Then why should I help you?" Icy Cold replied, "I'll use myself as a reward." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Are you sure?" Icy Cold nodded as she said, "I didn't have this intention before, but now I think that this deal is worth it." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Are you that confident? I have a lot of women by my side." Icy Cold said, "I'm confident in this. If you don't agree to this deal, I'll satisfy your other requests as long as you're willing to help my little brother." Zhao Fu chuckled as he said, "Only a fool would refuse. I'm very happy to make a deal with you, but I want a reward first." Chapter 3173. Book 1. Icy Desolation said, "No problem." Following this, Icy Desolation walked over to Zhao Fu and took off her clothes. The evening sunlight shone on the icy plains, and Icy Desolation lay in Zhao Fu's embrace, a faint redness on her face. Her aura was much colder than before. Outside, Bing Yin said, "Husband, are you and the princess all right?" Icy Desolation's face became slightly red. She had never thought that they would be together from morning to afternoon, and she had thought that it would be over soon. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Come in. It's fine now." Bing Yin pushed open the door and walked in. Looking at the two of them, she gave a trace of a smile. It was just as she had thought. It would be very easy for Zhao Fu to obtain the #1 beauty of the Ice Plains Kingdom, and she wanted Zhao Fu to help Bing Qixue obtain the throne. Zhao Fu said, "You can come over as well." Hearing this, Bing Yin looked at Icy Desolation and said, "Husband, I'll serve you later." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "But I want to do it now." Icy Desolation said, "You can come over." Hearing this, Bing Yin smiled and leapt into Zhao Fu's embrace. At night, Zhao Fu hugged the two women and asked, "How do you want me to help? Kill the current king, or kill the people who are vying for the throne?" Icy Desolation said, "Let's leave that for later. Right now, the most important thing is to defend against the attacks of your two goldsmith factions. If they can't defend, everything we do will be meaningless." Zhao Fu laughed as he said, "But I can't defend against two armies by myself." Icy Desolation looked at Zhao Fu with her eyes and said, "I know that you can't defend against them by yourself, but do you have any way to help the Ice Plains Kingdom?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment before taking out a scroll and saying, "This is my research on the goldsmith race, as well as a way to counter them. Take a look." Icy Desolation took the scroll and looked at it, and she could not help but smile as she said, "This scroll will be of great help to us. I'll immediately give it to the higher-ups of the Ice Plains Kingdom." Zhao Fu reminded, "Don't use your brother's name. Although it will be more popular, it will also cause more suspicion." Icily nodded and immediately got up to leave. Within a palace made of ice crystals, Lung Lung handed the scroll to a tall and slender woman in a white dress and said, "Mother, this scroll is a treasure. Look at what I got." The beautiful woman's name was Bing Han Mei, and she was His Majesty's second concubine. She was also Bing Lung Tung and Bing Qixue's mother. The ice-cold succubus took the scroll and looked at it, then said with a serious expression, "Where did you get this from?" It actually recorded such detailed information about the alchemy race. Those who are not scholars of the alchemy race should not be able to write these things. The key is that there's a way to restrain the alchemy race. This is a priceless treasure for our ice field kingdom. He told his mother everything that had happened. The ice demon sighed. "You've sacrificed too much for your brother. Mother feels that I owe you a lot." Lung Lung replied, "As long as the ice field kingdom survives, all of my efforts will be worth it. Also, he's actually quite good. He's not as bad as you think." Speaking to there, Lung Lung's face became slightly red. Seeing her daughter like this, the ice demon gave a trace of a smile. It seemed that her daughter was interested in that emperor. She was quite curious about this emperor who had shaken the entire ancient stem domain and wanted to meet him. Of course, she had to deal with this matter first. The ice demon said, "This scroll cannot be handed over by your little brother, nor can it be handed over by me. I can't hand it over to you either. I'll hand it over to the queen, and she'll hand it over through her." Lung Lung nodded. The queen was on their side, and it was she who supported Bing Qixue to become the successor of the Ice Field Kingdom. She did not have any children, or else with her status as the queen, her son would have been the first successor. Following this, the ice demon brought her daughter to another palace. Within the palace lay a woman with an alluring figure wearing a snow-white animal sweater, giving off a lazy and noble aura. She was the Ice Field Kingdom's queen, Bing Huer. Bing Huer gave a trace of smile as she asked, "Why have you come to find me?" The ice demon smiled as she said, "Big sister, I have something good to give you." Bing Huer took the scroll and looked at it, and she looked quite shocked as she asked, "Where did you get this from?" The ice demon smiled as she said, "It's something my son obtained, but it's not convenient for me to reveal it. Because of his relationship with His Majesty, it's not convenient for him to personally hand it over, so I'll have to trouble Big Sister to help." Bing Huer smiled as she said, "Qixue, that child, was born to be a king. However, His Majesty is too petty. Qixue is the one holding the fort, yet he's still treating him like this. Don't worry, I'll definitely support Qixue to become king." The ice demon said as she smiled. Thank you, big sister. We definitely won't let down big sister's help. Bing Hooer smiled as she nodded. The ice demon smiled as she said, Then big sister, and Lung, you'll be leaving first. Bing Hooer smiled as she replied, I'll immediately give this scroll to His Majesty. The earlier we use the information on the scroll, the better. The ice demon and Lung Yu left. Bing Hooer came to a room and handed the scroll to a tall and skinny middle-aged man with a mustache. She smiled as she said, Your Majesty, this contains detailed information on the gold refiner race, as well as methods to restrain them. The middle-aged man was called the Ice King, and he was the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom. He smiled as he said, Really? Bing Hooer smiled lazily as she said, Take a look and you'll know. The Ice King hurriedly looked at it and laughed loudly. With this scroll, we should be able to resist the 2 armies of gold refiner race. This is too important to us. Bing Hooer smiled as she said, Hurry up and give the order to hurry up and make it. The Ice King happily smiled as he said, I'll immediately give the order. After saying this, the Ice King thought of something and asked, Where did you get such a valuable item? Bing Hooer explained, I spent a lot of money to get it from somewhere else. The Ice King said gratefully, You've helped me a lot this time. I'll reward you well in the future. Bing Hooer smiled and nodded as she said, If there's nothing else, I'll be going. The Ice King nodded and immediately gave the order to gather the ministers to discuss this matter. He also announced that he had obtained the scroll. After hearing about this, the ministers were all delighted. Now that the Ice Origin Kingdom was in power, they continuously praised and flattered the Ice King. This restored some of the Ice King's reputation. When Bing Chishu heard about this, he felt quite happy. This way, they would have an advantage against the gold refiner race, and it would be very useful in the future. He wondered how the Ice King had obtained it. He did not know that this had anything to do with Zhao Fu. Chapter 3174. Book 1, Zhao Fu. According to the scroll that Zhao Fu had given them, the Ice Origin Kingdom had created a batch of weapons that countered the goldsmith race. They had experimented with them and found that the results were quite good, allowing the Ice Origin Kingdom to regain its confidence. After hearing about this, Icy Cold Tyrant looked quite disdainful as he said, This scroll belongs to us, but Royal Father said that he obtained it and spread it around. Icy Cold Tyrant lightly laughed as he said, Your Royal Father is such a person. Let's not talk about it anymore. Now that the Ice Origin Kingdom has the ability to resist the goldsmith race, the safety of the Ice Origin Kingdom is the most important thing. Icy Cold Tyrant asked, What should we do next? Icy Cold Tyrant said, The Emperor is the most important factor in this war, and he has a deep understanding of the goldsmith race. If you continue to interact with him, perhaps you will be able to obtain something useful. Icy Cold Tyrant nodded and said, Mother, when will my little brother ascend to the throne? Icy Cold Tyrant thought for a moment before replying, At least after this war is over. I will do my best to help your little brother ascend to the throne, and when that time comes, we will rule the Ice Origin Kingdom. Icy Cold Tyrant said, I'll be going now. A handsome young man said worriedly to a domineering and beautiful woman, Mother, I heard that this scroll is related to second brother. I heard that this scroll might have something to do with second brother. If he really got it, then I won't be able to become a king in the future. He was the 5th prince, and his name was Bing Wui. The domineering and beautiful woman was the 5th princess, and she was called Icy Cold Clothes. She was a very ambitious woman, and her status in the Ice Origin Kingdom was not low. Icy Cold Clothes said coldly, Right now, His Majesty is suspicious of Bing Chishua, so they don't dare to directly hand it over. Later, I'll leak some news to His Majesty, which will naturally make His Majesty even more suspicious of Bing Chishua. Right now, the most important thing is you. As long as nothing happens to you, after the war is over, His Majesty might abolish Bing Chishua and make you the new successor. Bing Wui said, But I'm still worried. Bing Chishua won't be abolished just like that, or else the ministers will be very dissatisfied, especially with the queen on their side. Icy cold clothes, coldly harumphed. That bitch, the queen, has looked down on us mother and son from the very beginning. Once you become the queen, you can deal with her. However, Bing Chishua hasn't made any big mistakes, so it's quite difficult to get rid of him. We need to plan this carefully. Bing Wui said, we need to rope in the other ministers. Without their support, I won't be able to resist Bing Chishua. Icy Cold Clothes said, Mother knows that I've always been on good terms with the fourth consort, so she'll probably support you. It's just that the sixth consort hasn't expressed her stance yet and is only standing in a neutral position. She shouldn't have to worry. Mother will try her best to win over the ministers in the court, but you'll have to perform well yourself. Bing Wui said seriously, Mother, I've always been working hard. Icy Cold Clothes thought for a moment and said, Next, weapons that can restrain the alchemists will be mass-produced. It will be easier to deal with the alchemists. You have to take this opportunity to earn some merit. Bing Wui nodded and said, Yes, Mother, I know. At this moment, a voluptuous and charming woman walked in. She was the fourth princess, Bing Xianhua. Seeing Bing Xianhua, Icy Cold Clothes gave a trace of a smile and said, Fourth sister, you're here. Bing Wui smiled and called out, Fourth mother. Bing Xianhua smiled and nodded, saying, I'm here to tell you a very secret piece of information. Icy Cold Clothes asked curiously, What is it? Bing Xianhua said, Don't you feel that this war was won quite strangely? The alchemists are regretting that the insects suddenly appeared. Icy Cold Clothes said, I feel that it's quite strange. At first, I thought that it was Bing Chishua's plan, but later I found out that he didn't know about this. Do you know why? Bing Xianhua smiled as she said, Of course. Bing Wui could not help but ask, What's the reason? Bing Chishua had led the army to resist the alchemists, and he had received countless people's admiration. This had dealt a big blow to Bing Wui, and he wanted to find out why. He wanted to lead the army to save the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Xianhua said, It was a mysterious person who helped him. I don't know who that mysterious person is, but he's quite powerful. I'm guessing that the curling whip that can restrain the alchemist belongs to that person. Bing Wui said in shock, Really? That person has such an ability? Bing Xianhua nodded. That's why I came to inform you as soon as I received the news. Icy Cold Clothes said with a serious expression, That person's appearance will be very disadvantageous to us. I wonder why she chose to help Bing Chishua. Bing Xianhua smiled as she said, I heard that Bing Chishua's guard, Bing Yin, brought that man back to her residence. When Bing Yin came out, her face was full of joy, and then something like that happened. I think that Bing Yin used her body to make a deal with that person. Not only that, but Bing Yin also came out with a face full of joy, and then the curling whip appeared. I feel that she used her body to make a deal with that person. Icy Cold Clothes said coldly, A bunch of bitches using such a method to get help is a disgrace to the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Xianhua smiled as she said, This means that their relationship isn't that strong. Perhaps we can attract them to our side. With such a capable person's help, our disadvantage will become an advantage. Icy Cold Clothes thought about it and said, That's true. Where is that person now? Bing Xianhua said, He should still be at Bing Yan's residence. I've already sent my daughter to investigate. Icy Cold Flower said with a smile, Bing Yan is the Ice Origin Kingdom's #1 beauty and fourth sister. Your daughter is also known as the Ice Origin Kingdom's #1 beauty. Men will definitely fall for beauties, not cold blockheads. I think there will be good news soon. Bing Xianhua smiled and nodded. Who are you? Zhao Fu looked at the woman in front of him. She had an extremely hot figure and a beautiful face. She wore a green palace dress and gave off a seductive aura. She was the fourth princess, Bing Xianhua's woman, and her name was Bing Lingu. Ice Spirit Valley had just barged into this place, and Bing Yin was not at her residence, so she ran into Zhao Fu. Bing Yin looked at Zhao Fu and said charmingly, I'm Bing Lingu, the Ice Origin Kingdom's fourth princess. This time, I came to see you. Zhao Fu asked, Why are you looking for me? Bing Lingu lightly smiled as she said, I already know about you and Bing Yin. I want you to join us. Not only will I be yours, but all of the Ice Origin Kingdom's women will be yours. What do you think? Zhao Fu thought about it and lightly smiled as he said, "That's not too good, right? I've already completed the deal with them." Chapter 3175. Book 1, Chapter 120. I Spirit Valley said coquettishly, "All right, stop pretending. I don't believe that you aren't interested in me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made such a deal with them." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "You're right. I do want you." I Spirit Valley said with a smile, "Follow me." After that, Zhao Fu followed I Spirit Valley to a palace. There were 3 people inside the palace. They were Bing Liang, Yi, and the other 2 women. Seeing that I Spirit Valley had successfully brought Zhao Fu to them, Icy Cold Clothes smiled and praised, "Spirit Valley, you're too alluring. No man can resist your temptation." Bing Lingu chuckled and said, "Fourth Mother, you're overpraising me." Icy Cold Clothes looked at Zhao Fu. "You're the one who helped Bing Qi Xue?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment. "Yes, I am." Icy Cold Clothes continued, "Did you make the insectoid and the scroll?" Zhao Fu nodded. The few of them looked at Zhao Fu with shocked expressions. It was this man in front of them who had helped their Ice Origin Kingdom by allowing the alchemist army to retreat temporarily. He had also given the Ice Origin Kingdom a way to restrain the alchemists. This was a great favor to the Ice Origin Kingdom. Ice Spirit Valley was very interested in Zhao Fu and said, "Who are you? Why does it have such an ability?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I have to keep this a secret. I can't tell you." Icy Cold Clothes said, "Are you willing to help us? As long as you help us, I will fulfill all your requests." Zhao Fu chuckled and said, "I'm not interested in money, treasures, or power. I'm only interested in women." Icy Cold Clothes smiled. "No problem. I'll pick 100 beauties for you to enjoy right away." Zhao Fu chuckled. "Then I'd better go back. The number 1 beauty of the Ice Origin Kingdom is waiting for me." Icy Cold Clothes frowned. "You want spirit grains to compensate you too?" Ice Spirit Valley said with a charming smile. "It's not that easy to get me." Zhao Fu shook his head and looked at Icy Cold Clothes. "I'm more interested in the consort. I want to make a deal with the consort." Hearing this, everyone was surprised. He didn't expect Zhao Fu to say this. Icy Cold Clothes' face turned cold. This bastard actually wanted her first. He was simply too shameless. She was the princess of the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Wui said angrily, "I think you're courting death. How dare you have designs on my mother?" Zhao Fu said helplessly, "If you don't agree, I won't force you. I'll go back now." Boom. Bing Wui exuded a powerful aura as he glared at Zhao Fu. "Do you think you can leave just because you want to?" If he could not obtain Zhao Fu's help, Bing Wui would have no choice but to kill Zhao Fu. Otherwise, he would have to go back and help Bing Qi Xue. Zhao Fu disdainfully laughed, and an extremely terrifying power blasted against Bing Wui's body, causing him to collapse to the ground. He looked at Zhao Fu in terror, and his body was covered with cold sweat. Everyone else looked at Zhao Fu in shock. This was the power of the Void Realm, and they had never thought that such a Void Realm expert would appear before them. They were in the ancient STEM domain, and ordinary Emperor Heaven Realm experts would not even be able to see them, let alone Void Realm experts. Zhao Fu said condescendingly, "Can I leave now?" How could they dare to stop him? Just as Zhao Fu turned and was about to leave, Icy Cold Clothes said, "Wait, I'll agree to your request." Bing Wui said angrily, "Mother, why would you agree to his request?" Icy Cold Clothes said coldly, "That's enough. You can leave for now." Bing Wui said angrily, "I'm not leaving. I definitely won't agree to such a thing." Icy Cold Clothes coldly harumphed, "If you don't leave, I'll cripple you and expel you from the Ice Origin Kingdom. Don't even think about being the Ice Origin Kingdom's king for the rest of your life." Hearing this, Bing Wui angrily looked at his mother before turning and leaving. Bing Lingu said softly, "Mother, let's go." Bing Xianhua looked at Zhao Fu and Icy Cold Clothes and smiled as she said, "We'll leave immediately and won't disturb you too." Following this, the 2 of them left, leaving Zhao Fu and Icy Cold Clothes in the palace. Icy cold clothes coldly looked at Zhao Fu and said, "What are you waiting for? Hurry up." Zhao Fu gave a slight smile and walked towards icy cold clothes. The next day, within the room, Bing Xianhua's face was slightly red as she said in shock, "They still haven't come out. Is that person really that powerful?" Bing Lingu said, "I wonder what's going on inside." Bing Xianhua said softly, "I feel that that person has a formless charm that attracts me. It's a pity that I don't know what he looks like otherwise." Bing Lingu reminded, "Mother, you can't do that. You're the Ice Origin Kingdom's queen." Bing Xianhua said with a smile, "What kind of person do you think your mother is? Go and do your own things. You don't have to worry about this." Bing Lingu nodded and left the room. Bing Xianhua waited for a while, but she still couldn't help but come to the palace. Looking at the mess around, she revealed a surprised expression. At the same time, she couldn't help but be attracted by Zhao Fu's peerless appearance, and her heart raced. How could there be such a perfect man in this world? Bing Xianhua blushed and couldn't help but walk toward Zhao Fu. Late at night, Bing Xianhua looked at icy cold clothes, who was sleeping soundly, and lightly smiled as she said to Zhao Fu, "Ordinary women aren't a match for you. Now that you've completed your transaction with her and obtained me, won't that mean you can help us?" Zhao Fu nodded with a smile and said, "I will do my best to help you." Bing Xianhua stared at Zhao Fu and said, "Actually, I want you to stay by my side. I realize that you are the man of my life. I can't even leave you now. I think that as long as Bing Wui ascends to the throne, we can always be together." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "I can't stay here forever. I will leave after I'm done with these things." Bing Xianhua thought for a while and sighed in disappointment. "Yeah, you're already an emptiness realm expert at such a young age. You will definitely become an almighty in the future. Now that I think about it, I don't deserve you." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Don't think too much. You are the woman I approve of now. If you only care about me, then leave with me." Bing Xianhua said happily, "Really?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Bing Xianhua hugged Zhao Fu and said with a face full of smiles, "That's great, husband." The next day, after Zhao Fu left the palace, icy cold clothes woke up slowly. Looking at Bing Xianhua, who was blushing, he understood what had just happened and asked, "Did he leave?" Bing Xianhua said infatuatedly, "Yes, but he will be back soon." Icy cold clothes looked at Bing Xianhua and said, "It seems that you like that guy a lot." Bing Xianhua nodded and said, "He is my only man now. If he wants, he could take me away any time." Icy cold clothes snorted and said, "That brat. I almost died in his hands, but he doesn't even care about me. Also, we can't let anyone know that we did this. Otherwise, we will all die." Chapter 3176. Book 1, Chapter 121. Bing Xianhua smiled and nodded. Icy cold clothes nodded, revealing a trace of coldness as she said, "The moment I seize power, I will kill his majesty and avenge my brother." It turned out that Icy Cold Clothes' brother was a famous general in the Ice Origin Kingdom, but because the pure Ice King was suspicious of him, he was slandered and died. She knew what Icy Cold Clothes' goal was, but she did not try to stop her. After all, she did not have any feelings for the pure Ice King, and the pure Ice King only treated her as a tool. Zhao Fu returned to Bing Yan's residence, where she had been waiting for a long time. Seeing that Zhao Fu had returned, she let out a sigh of relief and said, "Why did you only come back now? Where did the Ice Spirit Valley take you?" Hearing this, Zhao Fu smiled and said, "They took me to the palace." Bing Yan hurriedly asked, "What did they say to you?" Zhao Fu replied, "They wanted me to help them." Bing Yan continued to ask, "What did they say?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I agreed." Bing Yan looked stunned and said somewhat angrily, "How could you agree? Didn't you agree to help me? Also, they're your highness's competitors." Zhao Fu smiled and explained, "Now I'll help both of you. I'll help whoever makes me happy." Bing Yan glared at Zhao Fu and said, "I'm going to tell the princess about this. You stay here." Zhao Fu nodded. Icy cold personage came to Bing Yan's residence and looked at Zhao Fu and said, "My mother also wants to see you." Zhao Fu gave a trace of smile and nodded. Following this, Zhao Fu came to her room. Icy cold personage looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Why did you choose to help them? Give me a reason." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Are you sure you want to know?" Icy cold personage replied, "Yes." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "They used themselves to make a deal with me." Hearing this, everyone was shocked. If this matter was spread out, it would be a capital offense. They actually dared to betray the pure Ice King. This would make the Ice Origin Kingdom lose face. Thinking about it, this was the Ice Origin Kingdom's concubine having an affair with another man. If they spread the news, even if Icy Cold Clothes did not die, she would be imprisoned forever, and her son would never be able to become king. If it was any other man, they would have immediately reported it. But this man was Zhao Fu. Not only was he an imperial prince, but he was also a benefactor of the Ice Origin Kingdom. Perhaps in the future, they would need him to defend against two armies. The Icy Demon asked, "What do you think now?" Zhao Fu smiled and asked, "What are you referring to?" The Icy Demon said, "Who do you prefer to help?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment. "I'm more inclined towards them because they are princesses and have paid a higher price, so I have to help them a bit more." Bing Yin said with a tinge of jealousy and anger, "The first princess and I are not as important as them? The first princess is still the #1 beauty of the Ice Origin Kingdom." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You two are also very important to me. However, your identities are different, so don't worry, I won't help them too much." Bing Yin lightly harumphed, wanting to say something else. Icy Cold Clothes said calmly, "There's no need to say anything else. We're just trading, and it's fine if you think they're worth more." The Icy Demon said, "You can leave for now. I have something to talk to him about." Hearing this, Icy Cold Clothes and Bing Yin left the room. Bing Yin looked at Icy Cold Clothes beside her and asked, "Princess, are you angry?" Icy Cold Clothes replied, "No." Bing Yin looked at Icy Cold Clothes and understood that she was quite angry because she was also angry that Zhao Fu had hooked up with the fifth princess. Within the room, Icy Cold Clothes looked at Zhao Fu with a trace of charm as she said, "What are you standing there for? Do you want me to say it clearly?" Zhao Fu lightly smiled and understood what Icy Cold Clothes meant. A few hours later, Zhao Fu hugged Icy Cold Clothes in his arms and thought about his purpose of coming to the Ice Origin Kingdom. Zhao Fu was not so kind as to come to the Ice Origin Kingdom to get through the danger. Moreover, the Ice Origin Kingdom had attacked Qin City several times. This time, Zhao Fu came to take revenge on the Ice Origin Kingdom and take control of it. This was Zhao Fu's purpose. Icy Cold Clothes looked at Zhao Fu and asked with a smile, "Who are you leaning towards now?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Of course it's you." Icy Cold Clothes revealed a satisfied smile. "You have to keep our relationship a secret. I don't want my children to know about this, especially my son. He's the future king of the Ice Origin Kingdom, and he can't have any stains on his reputation." Zhao Fu said with a smile. I understand." Icy Cold Clothes thought of something and said, "I heard that you had a good relationship with him before, and you're even friends. Why didn't you tell him about you? Could it be that you've been plotting against us from the beginning?" Zhao Fu quickly explained, "No, you were the ones who took the initiative, so I didn't force you." The Ice Demon lightly harumphed and said, "Since you've already obtained it, there's no need to say anything else. Also, I want to thank you for the scroll. It has helped our Ice Origin Kingdom greatly." Zhao Fu said with a smile. "You're welcome." The Ice Demon asked curiously, "Who exactly are you?" Countless people in the ancient STEM domain were curious about Zhao Fu's identity, and the Ice Chill Demoness was no exception. If she knew Zhao Fu's identity, she would be more confident in the future. Of course, Zhao Fu wouldn't tell her. He smiled and said, "I'll tell you in the future." The Ice Demon didn't ask any more questions. She was just testing the waters. The Ice Demon asked, "Are you interested in the queen?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "And what do you want?" "I want her to completely stand with us. I believe that with your ability, it will be very easy to conquer her." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "No problem." 10 minutes later, the Ice Demon gave a trace of a smile as she walked into Bing Hu-er's room and said, "Big sister, what did His Majesty give you as a reward?" Bing Hooer lay on the bed and lazily said, "What kind of reward could there be? It's just some precious jewelry. Take whatever you want." The ice demon smiled as she said, "I'm not interested in those things. I'm more interested in Big Sister." After saying this, the ice demon went up and hugged Bing Hooer. Bing Hooer's face became red. The two of them started to play around, and soon Zhao Fu appeared. At night, the ice demon smiled as she said, "Are you satisfied with Big Sister's gift?" Bing Hooer's face became red as she rolled her eyes and said, "Aren't you afraid of His Majesty finding out?" The ice demon smiled as she said, "What's there to be afraid of? He's long since lost everyone's support. Whether it's us or Bing Liang Yi will cripple him. Big Sister, you need to think about the future." Bing Hooer thought about it and lightly nodded. Bing Hooer looked at Zhao Fu and said flirtatiously, "Boy, you can stay by my side and serve me." Chapter 3177. Book 1, Chapter 122. Bing Hooer asked, "What is it? Wasn't he a gift from you?" Bing Hooer lightly laughed as she said, "Do you know who he is? He's that mysterious emperor, and he was the one who released the insect beasts and gave us that scroll." Bing Hooer looked at Zhao Fu in shock. She had never thought that the man who had caused her to fall for him was that mysterious emperor. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "If you want, I'll come often." Bing Hooer felt quite confused as she asked, "Why are you here?" Zhao Fu gave a simple explanation, saying that he was just passing by and had heard that the Ice Plain Kingdom was in danger, so he had come to help. Because of his special identity, he did not reveal his identity. Bing Hooer smiled as she said, "Thank you for helping my Ice Plain Kingdom." Zhao Fu evilly laughed as he said, "You already thanked me just now." Bing Hooer's face became red, and she flirtatiously hugged Zhao Fu as she said, "Now that I'm yours, you have to take responsibility." Zhao Fu smiled as he replied, "Mm." Bing Hooer smiled as she said, "Big Sister, rest first. We'll come back later." Bing Hooer nodded and yawned as she said, "I'm tired and sleepy right now." Bing Hooer brought Zhao Fu out of the room and walked to the side. Zhao Fu asked curiously, "Where are you taking me?" Bing Hooer smiled as she said, "I want to get rid of the sixth princess and have her stand on our side." Hearing this, Zhao Fu lightly laughed. He was going to have to work hard again. After coming to the sixth princess palace, Bing Hooer had everyone leave and walked into the palace. There was a sweet-tempered and beautiful woman sitting next to the desk, and she asked curiously, "Second princess, what is it?" Bing Hooer turned and said to Zhao Fu, "I'll leave this place to you." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Bing Hooer left the palace. She could not take Zhao Fu's ravaging anymore. Zhao Fu walked towards the sixth princess. The sixth concubine's name was Frostleaf. She felt that something was wrong and berated. "What are you trying to do?" Zhao Fu rushed forward and hugged her. After a while, the ice demon walked in and looked at Frostleaf, who was being bullied by Zhao Fu, and said with a smile, "Sixth concubine, do you want me to call someone over now and let them see how cheap you are?" Frostleaf quickly said, "No." The ice phantom showed a satisfied smile. "I actually don't have any ulterior motives. I just want you to stand on our side and support my son to become the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom." Frostleaf said angrily, "You let people do this to me. If I tell His Majesty, he will definitely kill you." The icy demon said with a smile, "You can go now, but what will happen if you go? Your family will also die. Do you want me to call His Majesty here? Let him see this scene. Who do you think he will kill first?" Frostleaf snorted coldly. He really did not dare to do so now. The icy demon laughed as she said, "I'll tell you as well. It's not just me. All of the concubines, including the queen, are now his women. You should be more tactful." Frostleaf looked at Zhao Fu, who was bullying her, and asked, "Is this true? Also, who are you?" The icy demon replied for Zhao Fu, "He's that mysterious disciple who has shaken the entire ancient STEM domain. Do you believe him now?" Zhao Fu said, I am." Frostleaf did not say anything else and hugged Zhao Fu with both arms. A while later, the icy demon brought Frostleaf and Zhao Fu back to the queen's palace. looking at the three beautiful women in his arms. Zhao Fu gave a satisfied smile as he said, I can once again help your Ice Origin Kingdom. Ice Lake's heir gave an alluring smile as she asked, What kind of help? Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I will order people to send over a large number of thunder crystals. With these thunder crystals and weapons that can counter the goldsmith race, I'm sure that you will have no problems defending the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Huer said happily, Thank you, husband. The icy demon asked, Does that mean the war will end soon? Zhao Fu nodded. The icy demon said seriously, When the war ends, it will be time for us to seize power. Even though it will be quite dangerous for two goldsmith factions to invade, it will be an opportunity. Zhao Fu smiled as he asked, What do you plan to do? The icy demon said, We'll bring our supporters to force His Majesty to abdicate. When that time comes, I'll have to trouble you to kill those ministers loyal to His Majesty. I'm sure it'll be quite simple for you. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, All right. Frostleaf sighed. Bing Huer asked, What do you plan to do with the fifth concubine and fourth concubine? The icy demon looked at Zhao Fu and said, I'll leave them to you. They're also your women now. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I hope that you can get along well with each other. The icy demon coldly harumphed. That's impossible. She wants her son to be king, and I also want my son to be king. There's only one king, so unless she gives up on the throne, we can't get along. Zhao Fu did not say anything else. If the Icy Origin Kingdom perished, they would not fight over it. Frost Leaf asked softly, If you obtain the throne, how will you deal with His Majesty? The icy demon said, I originally wanted to kill him. Even though I've had enough of him, we're still husband and wife, so I'll spare his life. Bing Huer smiled as she said, I think so too. The icy demon said, If he falls into our hands, he might be able to live. If he falls into icy cold clothes hands, he'll definitely die. We'll definitely take revenge for her brother. Frostleaf sighed. Icy Cold Clothes' brother was a good general, but he did not have a good ending. Frostleaf had a good impression of him, and everyone felt that his death was a pity. This made everyone feel even more dissatisfied with the Pure Ice King. Following this, Zhao Fu ordered people to deliver a large number of thunder crystals. These thunder crystals were created by the Lei family, and they were quite powerful. Zhao Fu gave most of them to the Icy Cold Clothes. Zhao Fu went to Icy Cold Clothes' residence and gave the remaining thunder crystals to her. Looking at so many thunder crystals, Icy Cold Clothes was quite happy and smiled as she said to Bing Wui, Son, you can use these thunder crystals to win. Bing Wui smiled as he said, These thunder crystals aren't ordinary items. Each of them contains terrifying lightning power, and ordinary people can't obtain them. Icy Cold Clothes looked at Zhao Fu and said, You should thank him. Bing Wui looked quite awkward. He knew about the relationship between Zhao Fu and his mother, so he did not reject Zhao Fu as much. Bing Xianhua smiled as she said, Husband, thank you. Zhao Fu said, You're welcome. I said that I'd help you, so I'll do my best to help you. Ice Spirit Valley stood by the side and looked at Zhao Fu curiously. She did not know who Zhao Fu was, but she knew about the relationship between Zhao Fu and her mother. After seeing Bing Xianhua's expression, it was difficult for her not to know. Chapter 3178. Book 1, Chapter 123. Chaos Soon. The two alchemy forces launched an attack on the Ice Origin Kingdom. One side was led by Bing Qixue, while the other side was led by Bing Wui. The alchemist army's Saint Beasts once again attacked, and rays of light containing immense power shot towards the Ice Origin Kingdom's walls, giving off powerful auras. The Ice Origin Kingdom's side first released an ice-colored defensive barrier, blocking the alchemist army's attacks. Ice beasts appeared and gathered the ice power within their bodies as they shot out rays of white light, giving off bone-chilling coldness as they shot towards the alchemist army, causing the surrounding temperature to plummet. The alchemist army's Saint Beasts immediately shot out rays of light. Bang! 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 Massive explosions sounded out as light spread out, and terrifying shockwaves spread out, forming powerful gales. The alchemist army and ice beasts continuously attacked each other, and the alchemist army gave off a massive aura as they charged towards the ice origin kingdom. They were like a massive flood, giving off an aura that seemed to be able to destroy everything. The ice origin kingdom's magic formations were activated, and a large amount of icy chi condensed in the sky, forming icicles that gave off icy chi and shot toward the refiner army with great force. The alchemist army immediately condensed shields, and as the icicles hit them, they turned into countless pieces of ice and fell to the ground. The alchemist army continued to rush towards the ice origin kingdom. The ice origin kingdom continuously condensed icicles, which gave off chilling auras as they shot towards the alchemist army's shields. Under the continuous attacks of the icicles, some of the shields were destroyed. Swish, swish, swish. The sound of the air being torn could be heard as arrows drew arcs in the air and quickly shot towards the alchemist soldiers. At first, the alchemist soldiers thought that they were ordinary arrows and gave off a metallic aura, wanting to defend. Chi, chi, chi. However, the arrows easily pierced through the metallic aura and hit the alchemist soldiers' bodies. Some were hit in the chest, some in the arm, some in the thigh, and some in the head. Blood flew everywhere as pitiful cries continuously sounded out. This wave of attacks had dealt a lot of damage. After all, these arrows had been infused with materials from the primal chaos world and had the power to counter alchemists. Swish, swish, swish. The sound of the air being torn once again sounded out as arrows containing immense power shot toward the alchemist army, causing them to hurriedly defend. Some used their shields to block, some swung their swords to deflect the incoming arrows, and some chose to dodge. They did not dare to be careless like before, but this wave of attacks still caused some damage to the alchemy army. Bang, bang, bang. The icicles smashed into the alchemy army's shields with great force, shattering them. Even more arrows shot towards the alchemy army. This put the alchemy army at a disadvantage, and they had no choice but to split a portion of the alchemy holy beast power. Smaller cannons shot beams of light at the alchemy city wall, blasting the arrows away. The alchemist army also entered their attack range and began a counterattack the ice origin kingdom. Alchemist soldiers wielded spears and rushed towards the ice origin kingdom. Boom, boom, boom. Massive explosions sounded out as the spears gave off immense power and shot towards the ice origin kingdom's defensive barrier like massive rays of light. Bang! The defensive barrier was once again shattered by the alchemist army. The alchemist army then shot out a wave of less powerful spears, causing some casualties to the ice origin kingdom. The alchemist army came closer and closer and started to construct metal stairs. Some alchemist soldiers rushed up the stairs, while others continued to attack from the ground. Swish, swish, swish. The sound of the air being torn could be heard as the ice origin kingdom once again shot out countless arrows, which descended like a torrential rain. Some were blocked by the alchemist soldiers, while others were hit. On the other side, the alchemy soldiers also shot out sharp arrows, killing the soldiers of the ice origin kingdom one by one. The battle was incredibly intense, and pitiful cries continuously sounded out. Blood flew everywhere, and people continuously died. The alchemist army's attacks were incredibly fast. They were about to reach the alchemy city wall. At that moment, the ice origin kingdom took out lightning crystals and threw them at the alchemist army. The lightning crystals exploded, turning into arcs of lightning. Some alchemist soldiers were electrocuted to death, while others were electrocuted to death. Cold chi quickly gathered above the alchemy city wall, forming smaller icicles that gave off immense power as they shot towards the alchemist soldiers. Countless arrows also shot towards the alchemist soldiers. The ice origin kingdom continuously threw out lightning crystals. Under these attacks, the alchemist army suffered great casualties, and countless alchemist soldiers died. The alchemist army's ferocious attacks were completely stopped. The alchemist army split off a portion of the alchemist army's divine beasts and shot out beams of light towards the alchemy city wall. Explosions sounded out, and some of the Ice Origin Kingdom's soldiers were blasted away. Roar! Roar! The ice beasts let out loud roars and spat out even more powerful beams of light. They landed on the holy refinement beasts and sent them flying. The battle continued for a while, but the alchemist army was still unable to break through the alchemist army's defenses. Their casualties became greater and greater, and in the end, they could only give the order to retreat. This time, the Ice Origin Kingdom had once again stopped the alchemist army's attack and had achieved good results. They had caused many casualties to the alchemist army, and this result was even better than the last time. The Ice Origin Kingdom's residents and soldiers all cheered in joy. The entire kingdom was like this, and they planned to properly celebrate. Because this battle was led by Bing Qixue and Bing Wui, both of their reputations were even greater than before. Bing Wui felt quite happy and enjoyed this feeling. He had never felt this feeling of being worshipped and respected by countless people before. He understood that this was all because of Zhao Fu's help, and now that he thought about it, his mother had made the right decision. Bing Qixue's expression did not change, but he felt quite confused. Where had he obtained those lightning crystals? He only knew that his mother had given them to him. The lightning crystals had been quite effective, and there were so many of them. Logically speaking, it should have been quite difficult to obtain them, yet his mother had taken out so many. Where had she obtained them from? Recently, everything had been quite strange. Insects had suddenly appeared, scrolls had suddenly appeared, and lightning crystals had suddenly appeared. It was as if someone was helping the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Qixue thought about it and decided to find out what was going on. After hearing about this, the pure Ice King felt half happy and half worried because he felt that something was off. There was a mysterious faction helping Bing Qixue and Bing Wui, and this posed a great threat to him, making him feel quite uneasy. The pure Ice King immediately gathered his subordinates to discuss this matter. Moreover, Bing Qixue's reputation was quite high, and he posed a great threat to him. Chapter 3179, Book 1, Chapter 124. Even though Bing Qixue was his son, he would not show mercy to anyone who threatened his throne. Your Majesty, we must be on guard. We must be vigilant now. This mysterious force helped us resist the alchemy army, but it also shows how powerful it is. I think it's best to find this mysterious faction. If your Majesty can obtain its support, that would be the best outcome. If it poses a threat to your Majesty, we should get rid of it. No, the Ice Origin Kingdom still needs it to help defend against the two armies. I think it's best to delay this matter and deal with it after the battle is over. We definitely can't touch it. I think we should be careful and come out in the future. Right now, we just need to pretend that we don't know anything. The Pure Ice King then asked about Bing Qixue. Your Majesty, this is quite difficult. Bing Qixue's reputation is quite high, and suddenly getting rid of him will cause a lot of dissatisfaction. However, if we don't get rid of him, he will replace your Majesty as the new king sooner or later. I think we should poison him and let him slowly die. That way, others will say that he died young and will not be dissatisfied with your Majesty. I think this is a good move, but it won't be easy to explain things to the second concubine. She might sense something. That's easy. We should just poison both of them to death. Even though this is quite heartless for His Majesty and the Ice Origin Kingdom, I support this. I hope that they won't blame us. After getting rid of Bing Qixue and his mother, the next successor will be Bing Wui. He should be easy to control. The only thing we need to worry about is his mother. Back then, His Majesty ordered her big brother to die, and I'm worried that this will harm your Majesty. How about we poison her to death as well? That way, only Bing Wui will be left, and he won't be a threat to us at all. Just in case, the fifth concubine must die as well. Bing Qixue went to his mother's room and felt quite curious as to why it was closed during the day and why there was a barrier set up. He knocked on the door and said, "Mother, I have something to ask you." Within the room, the ice demon's face was red as she lay in Zhao Fu's embrace. "What is it?" Bing Qixue said. "I want to ask you, is there someone secretly helping us?" "Bing Yin, my big sister, and you should all know that person's identity. Why are you hiding it from me?" The ice demon glared at Zhao Fu, who was still bullying her, and said, "You don't have to worry about this. Mother will help you arrange everything." Bing Qixue said, "Mother, I still want to know who that person is. Why would he help us?" The icy demoness said, "This is just a deal. Mother gave him what he wanted, so he was willing to help us. Otherwise, do you think he would be so good?" Hearing this, Bing Qixue let out a sigh of relief. He would only be worried if Zhao Fu did not have a goal in mind. Bing Qixue said, "Mother, I want to wait until the war is over, give up my identity as the successor, and retire for a period of time." The icy demon immediately refused. "No, you must be an honest successor." Bing Qixue said, "I'm worried that if this goes on, Royal Father will act against our family. This feeling is becoming stronger and stronger." The icy demon coldly harumphed, "You don't need to worry about this. If he's heartless, don't blame us for being unjust." Bing Qixue could tell that something was off, and his expression became serious as he asked, "Mother, do you really want that?" The icy demon replied, "After this war is over, even if they don't act, we will." Bing Qixue sighed, "Do we really have to do this? After all, we're a family." The icy demon coldly said, "That depends on your royal father. Even if you don't want to do anything, he wants to kill you. You should understand your royal father very well, and I don't want to say anything else." Bing Qixue fell silent, feeling quite troubled. Suddenly, the icy demon made a few strange noises, and Bing Qixue asked curiously, "What's wrong, mother? What are you doing inside?" The icy demon pinched Zhao Fu and said, "Nothing much. You can leave for now." Bing Qixue nodded and left. The icy demon looked at Zhao Fu and said coquettishly, "You bastard." Zhao Fu laughed. The icy demon hugged Zhao Fu with both hands and said, "Husband, I have a feeling that the war will end soon. Now, I need your help. With your emptiness realm power, it will be easy to deal with them. Whether or not we can easily seize power depends on you." Zhao Fu smiled and said, Don't worry." An hour later, Zhao Fu left the icy demon's room. Soon, he received news that Bing Liang Yi wanted to see him, so Zhao Fu headed towards Bing Liang Yi's residence. On the way, Zhao Fu happened to meet Ice Spirit Valley. When Ice Spirit Valley saw Zhao Fu, she had a complicated expression. On one hand, she was shocked by Zhao Fu's forces, but she was also grateful for Zhao Fu's help. On the other hand, she could not accept that Zhao Fu and her mother had done such a thing. Zhao Fu smiled as he walked over, picked her up, and walked to the side. Ice Spirit Valley said coyly, "What are you doing? Put me down." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I won't let you go." Ice Spirit Valley hit Zhao Fu with both hands, trying to break free from Zhao Fu's hands. However, Zhao Fu could not break free at all, and Zhao Fu allowed her to hit him as he carried her to Bing Liang Yi's room. Seeing this, Bing Liang Yi and Bing Xianhua not only did not stop them, but they also smiled. A few hours later, Bing Liang Yi leaned on Zhao Fu's shoulder and said, "Husband, this time we have heavily injured the gold refiner army. I feel that the war will end even faster. His Majesty will most likely make a move against Bing Qixue, and our chance will come." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "What do you want?" Bing Liang Yi said, "I want both sides to suffer great losses and then get rid of them together. That way, we can successfully seize power." Zhao Fu smiled and did not say anything. Bing Liang Yi asked in confusion, "Why aren't you saying anything? You don't want to help us?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "No, it's just that there's nothing to say." Bing Xianhua said happily, "As long as we successfully seize power, we could be together openly and won't have to hide like this." Zhao Fu nodded. Ice Spirit Valley looked at Zhao Fu with her beautiful eyes, her face slightly red. She had never thought that Zhao Fu would be so powerful and so perfect, making her feel quite fond of him. Moreover, She was now Zhao Fu's woman. The next day, just as they had expected, after suffering such heavy losses and being unable to take down the Ice Origin Kingdom, the Gold Refiner army in the east decided to retreat and look for their next target. This reduced the pressure on the Ice Origin Kingdom by half. The Gold Refiner faction in the east would most likely retreat soon. Even if they did not retreat, the Ice Origin Kingdom did not have to fear them at all. With the Ice Origin Kingdom's strength, they could even take the initiative to attack. The three factions started to wait and made preparations. As soon as the remaining Gold Refiner faction retreated, they would act. Chapter 3180. Book 1, Chapter 125. A few days later, the remaining Alchemy faction retreated, believing that there was no need to attack the Ice Origin Kingdom anymore. Even if they did, they would suffer great losses, and the gains would not make up for the losses. As soon as this faction retreated, the Pure Ice King side made their move. An old man wearing black clothes knelt in front of the Pure Ice King and said, "Your Majesty, Bing Qi Xue and the second princess consort have already taken my poison. This poison is colorless and odorless, and normal people are unable to detect it. Taking it once won't be dangerous, but taking it many times will be fatal. Your Majesty wants the second princess and her son to die within 3 months. Just let them take the poison once a month, and they won't show symptoms of poisoning. Your Majesty can rest assured." The Pure Ice King smiled in satisfaction. "All right, you can leave first." The old man nodded and left. 3 months? The Pure Ice King wondered if it was too long, but would be too obvious if the mother and son died in such a short time. The Pure Ice King decided to let them live for another 3 months. The Ice Demon and Bing Qi Xue did not know about this. In the main hall, the Pure Ice King began to evaluate the merits and rewards. The greatest contributor was naturally Bing Qi Xue. The Pure Ice King called him up and gave him a generous reward. Everyone felt quite surprised. They had thought that the Pure Ice King would cripple Bing Qi Xue, but after thinking about it, it was not yet time to do so. However, Bing Qi Xue would not be the legatee, so there would not be any surprises. Next, it was Bing Wui's turn to accept the Pure Ice King's reward. Everyone looked at Bing Wui. After Bing Qi Xue was destroyed, he would be the new legatee. If he was lucky, after Pure Ice King died of old age, he would become the future king. After the reward ceremony was over, the celebratory feast began. The Pure Ice King and his family sat at the same table. Other than the 5 princesses that Zhao Fu had seen before, there was also a pale, beautiful woman wearing a plain white dress. She was the 3rd princess, Pure Ice Jade. She usually stayed in the palace to recuperate. If it wasn't for such a joyous occasion, she wouldn't have come out. Seeing that she did not have many years left to live, the Icy Demon let her go. Ice Spirit Valley, Bing Qi Xue, and Bing Wui were also sitting at the table. The Pure Ice King smiled and said, "It's been a long time since our family sat together like this." Bing Hu lightly smiled and said, "That's right. We haven't had a meal together in a long time. Let's enjoy this warm reunion." Icily Charming smiled as she raised her glass and said, "Of course. Let me toast your Majesty." The ice-cold demon drank the wine. The Pure Ice King laughed and drank the wine in front of him. He praised, "Second princess, you have a good son. He abandoned his studies and is very talented. He will become a good king in the future. Don't worry, I will support him." The icy immortal felt strange. She did not understand why the Pure Ice King would say such a thing. She did not believe that he would not abolish his son. Bing Qi Xue felt a dense sense of fatherly love and felt a sense of warmth in his heart. Bing Wui was very unhappy. He was still waiting for the Pure Ice King to cripple Bing Qi Xue so that he could become the new successor. Icy Cold Clothes frowned slightly. Judging from the tone of the Icy King, he would not abolish the School of Ice. This would put them at a disadvantage. When the Pure Ice King said this, he naturally had a purpose. He did not want anyone to suspect that he was the one who poisoned the mother and son. The Icy Demoness smiled and said, "Thank you, Your Majesty." Icy Cold Clothes could not help but laugh. "Your Majesty, Not only did Chishua perform well, but my son also did well. The pure Ice King smiled and nodded. I know, I won't mistreat him. Frost Leaf sat on his seat and watched the parties fighting openly and covertly. He did not want to say anything. The third princess lightly coughed a few times. The pure Ice King smiled as he said, Third princess, you're not feeling well, so you should go back first. Icy Cold Jade apologetically said, I'm sorry for interrupting everyone's fun. Icy Cold Clothes looked at Icy Cold Jade. Her parents had been ordered to be killed by the pure Ice King, and now that she was sick, it seemed that she would not live for long. Icy Cold Clothes said gently to such a pitiful woman, It's fine. You should rest well and not come out. Icy Cold Jade smiled as she looked at Icy Cold Clothes and said, I'll be going back first. After Icy Cold Jade left, everyone continued to celebrate. At that moment, Icy Cold Jade walked to her palace by herself and suddenly saw a person walking around, feeling quite unfamiliar. She asked curiously, Who are you? Zhao Fu felt quite bored and looked at the sickly beauty as he smiled and said, Me? You probably don't know me, but it seems like you're sick. Icy Cold Jade felt that Zhao Fu did not have any ill intentions, so he should not be a bad person. She said weakly, I'm sick. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I just learned how to treat all sorts of strange illnesses. Can I treat you? Icy Cold Jade smiled as she said, Sure, thank you. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, You're welcome. Icy Cold Jade wanted to say something, but she suddenly felt dizzy and her body powerlessly fell over. Zhao Fu immediately caught Icy Cold Jade, who was about to fall over, and asked caringly, How are you? Icy Cold Jade lay in Zhao Fu's embrace and felt Zhao Fu's aura. She felt quite comfortable, and her face became slightly red as she said, I'm fine. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I'll take you back. Zhao Fu said as he picked up Icy Cold Jade's body. Icy Cold Jade said softly, Don't be like this. I'm a princess, and it's not good for others to see me. Zhao Fu laughed as he said, But there's no one around right now. Also, if I put you down, can you go back by yourself? Hearing this, Icy Cold Jade did not say anything and allowed Zhao Fu to carry her into the room with a red face. The banquet ended. Bing Qixue said, Mother, I think it's best that you don't continue with your plan. There's still time, and I feel that Royal Father doesn't have any intentions of harming us. The Icy Cold Demon frowned as she said, I also felt that his attitude today was quite strange, but based on my understanding of him, he wouldn't be so kind. Bing Qixue continued to say, I don't really want the throne. If possible, I'd rather our family reunite like today. The Icy Cold Demon said coldly, You don't need to say anything else. I won't give up. Bing Qixue called out, Mother, don't make things difficult for me. The Icy Cold Demon said, Little brother, you're not doing this for us or for yourself. You're a citizen of the Ice Origin Kingdom. Think about it. If Royal Father doesn't abdicate, the Ice Origin Kingdom will be destroyed by his hands. Do you want the Ice Origin Kingdom to be destroyed? Bing Qixue did not know what to say. In another room, Bing Wui said angrily, Mother, this isn't going according to plan. I don't think Royal Father wants to abdicate my second brother at all. What should we do now? Icy Cold Clothes said seriously, I was quite surprised today as well. If he doesn't want to abdicate Bing Qixue, the situation will be disadvantageous to us. Not only will you become king, but will also be in danger. Bing Xianhua said worriedly, Right now, our faction is too weak. If we try to seize power, we won't succeed. Icy Cold Clothes said with a cold expression, Right now, there's only one way. Chapter 3181 Book 1 Chapter 126 Bing Xianhua asked, What method? Icy Cold Clothes said, Kill Bing Qixue. As long as Bing Qixue dies, my son will have a chance to become king, and we will have a chance to seize power. Ice Spirit Valley couldn't help but say, Do we really have to do this? We are a family. Bing Xianhua said, Qixue has always respected me, and I can't bear to kill him. Moreover, the second princess is not someone to be trifled with. Icy cold clothes said coldly, "There's nothing we can do about it. By the way, where did he go? We still need his help." Bing Xianhua shook her head. "I don't know. I told him to wait for me in the palace, but I didn't see him." Zhao Fu was trying his best to treat the third princess. After some time, Clear Ice Jade fell in his arms. Zhao Fu hugged her and smiled as he asked, "How is it? Are you feeling much better now?" Although Clear Ice Jade didn't want to admit it, her illness was miraculously much better. She didn't feel uncomfortable at all. With a light snort, he said, "You bad guy, I won't thank you." Zhao Fu chuckled and said, "I don't need your thanks. I will continue to treat patients in the future." Bing Qing whispered, "No, I'll let it go this time. But how can there be a next time? Don't forget, I am the princess. What you did is a capital offense." Zhao Fu did not mind and said with a smile, "I don't know how many times I have committed such a capital crime." Crystal Ice Jade was confused. "What?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I still have something to do. I'll come back tomorrow." Crystal Ice Jade quickly said, "No, you can't come." Zhao Fu did not answer her and left the room. Bing Qingyu was a little annoyed, but thinking about her encounter with Zhao Fu, she felt a sense of sweetness. If only she had met him earlier. He returned to his room. Bing Xianhua said tenderly, "Hubby, where did you go? We have been waiting for you for a long time." Zhao Fu said with a smile, "I went to do some things." "Why are you looking for me?" "Thinking that the situation has changed, I want you to kill Bing Qixue. That way, my son will have a chance." Zhao Fu said, "I'm afraid that's not possible." Icy Cold Clothes asked why. Zhao Fu smiled and said, "It's nothing. I don't want to kill him." Bing Xianhua said, "Husband, if you don't want to kill us, we can think of other ways. I believe that with husband here, any problem can be solved." Hearing this, Icy Cold Clothes did not say anything. Zhao Fu then went to the Icy Demon's residence. Bing Qixue had already left, and only the Icy Demon and Icy Tongue were left in the room. Walking into the room, Zhao Fu looked at the two of them and smiled. "You guys were waiting for me too?" The Icy Demoness nodded. Zhao Fu picked up the body of the Ice Demon and let her sit in his arms. The Ice Demon's face turned red and she struggled. "My daughter is still here." Icy Colding was not surprised at all, because Zhao Fu and the Icy Demon were entangled every day, so it was impossible for her not to know. Seeing that the Icy Husky did not respond, the Ice Demon knew that her daughter knew about this and could only sigh. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Our Ice Beauty, come over as well." Icy Colding looked at Zhao Fu before walking over and sitting in Zhao Fu's embrace. Zhao Fu hugged the mother and daughter as he said, "Go ahead. What's the matter?" The Icy Demon told Zhao Fu about what had happened and Bing Qixue's thoughts to see if Zhao Fu had any objections. Zhao Fu said, "I don't want to have a headache, and it depends on what you want to do. I'll definitely help you." The Icy Demon gave a trace of a smile and said softly, "Thank you, husband." Following this, Zhao Fu started to bully the two of them, but Zhao Fu suddenly stopped and looked at the Icy Demon. The Icy Demon asked curiously, "What is it?" Icy Colding looked at Zhao Fu in confusion. Zhao Fu frowned and said, "There's a hidden poison in your body? You've been poisoned." The Icy Demon said in confusion, "How is that possible? I didn't feel anything." Zhao Fu said, "This poison is quite hard to detect, and I didn't notice it just then." Icy Colding said, "Who would poison my mother?" Something flashed in the Icy Demon's mind, and she said with an incredibly cold expression, "The person who poisoned me was your imperial father. Now I understand why he treated us so well. It was because he wanted to kill us from the start." Icy Colding said in shock, "No way. How could imperial father do such a thing?" The Icy Demon coldly harumphed, "This is your imperial father. I didn't want to kill him, but now he has to die. He wanted to kill us first." Icy Colding still did not believe it. Is imperial father really that vicious? The Icy Demon said coldly, "If I'm not wrong, Qixue also has this poison in his body, and there's more poison in his body than in mine." Icy Colding said worriedly, "Let's go take a look immediately." Zhao Fu said, "This poison is a slow-acting poison. Don't be in such a rush. The icy demon said softly, Husband, help my son detoxify the poison first. Help my son detoxify the poison first, and then we'll accompany you. We'll definitely satisfy you. Zhao Fu was still quite unwilling and said, You've never satisfied me before. Icy cold Ying's face became slightly red as she said, Husband, hurry up and go. I'll do anything you want me to do. Hearing this, Zhao Fu gave a satisfied smile and said, That's fine. The icy demon rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu. The three of them packed up and immediately called Bing Qixue over. Zhao Fu still did not want Bing Qixue to see him, so he had them cover Bing Qixue's eyes. Bing Qixue sat on a chair by the side. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a powerful aura covered Bing Qixue as he said, There's indeed poison in his body. It's the same poison as you. The icy demon said angrily, Do you believe me now? How vicious is your imperial father? Icy Cold's expression was quite unsightly. She now believed her mother's words. Bing Qixue asked curiously, What is it? The icy demon said angrily, Your imperial father sent people to poison us in an attempt to kill us. If it wasn't for this person's help, we wouldn't even know we died. Bing Qixue's expression was quite unsightly as he thought about how his own father wanted to poison him to death. The icy demon said, Are you still willing to believe in your imperial father? Don't show any mercy. Either he dies or we die, understand? Bing Qixue fell silent and did not say anything. The icy demon did not say anything to Bing Qixue and instead said to Zhao Fu, Please help my son detoxify the poison. Zhao Fu nodded and pushed out with a hand, sending a massive wave of energy into Bing Qixue's body, and a black aura came out of Bing Qixue's body. A few seconds later, Zhao Fu pulled back his hand and said, The poison has been detoxified. Even though this poison was quite powerful, it was easily detoxified by Zhao Fu. Now that the poison had been detoxified, Zhao Fu hugged the icy demon. The icy demon's face became slightly red as she said, Qixue, don't take off the cloth. Don't take off the cloth and leave by yourself. Also, don't tell anyone about this, understand? Bing Qixue nodded heavily and left the room. Chapter 3182. Book 1, Chapter 127. The Ice Demon gave Zhao Fu a list of names and told Zhao Fu to control them or kill them. However, he could not reveal news of their death for now, because once it was leaked, the Ice King would definitely notice. Zhao Fu looked at the list and smiled as he said, No problem. The first target on the list was a veteran of 2 dynasties. When the previous king was still alive, he supported the pure Ice King. Now that the pure Ice King had become the new king, he naturally supported him. In addition to his identity, he had great power in the Ice Origin Kingdom. It was this senior statesman who had suggested that the Ice Origin Kingdom attack Qin, and he was Qin's enemy. Zhao Fu soon came to a tall, luxurious house that was made of precious silvers now wood. It looked holy and majestic, and it was one of the most luxurious buildings in the royal city. This was the home of the senior statesman, Bing Shanlin. It was quite easy for Zhao Fu to sneak into the Lin family's residence, and as soon as he entered, he heard cries of pain. He looked over and saw a tall young man, who reeked of alcohol, punching and kicking a beautiful woman. Stinky woman, I'll beat you to death today. You can't even do a little thing. The woman did not say anything and allowed the man to hit her. It seemed that she was used to it, and there was no point in apologizing. The 2 female attendants next to her looked quite scared and did not dare to stop him. Zhao Fu frowned and looked at the list. Bing Shanlin had a son, and this man was most likely Bing Shanlin's son. He was called Bing Xiao. The one being hit was most likely Bing Xiao's wife, Bing Xiaowan. Bing Xiao kicked Bing Xiaowan hard again, which made Bing Xiaowan's face darken in pain. Zhao Fu could not take it anymore and said, Stop. Bing Xiao looked at Zhao Fu and said drunkenly, Who are you to tell me to stop? Bing Xiaowan said in a soft voice, Thank you for your good intentions, but this has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. Now, Bing Xiaowan didn't want to implicate Zhao Fu, because she knew that Bing Xiao was Bing Shanlin's son and had a lot of power in the Icy Origin Kingdom. However, Zhao Fu did not mind and said, "What are you to me, bastard?" Hearing this, Bing Xiao cursed and raised his fist to hit Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's eyes were filled with disdain. He reached out one hand and grabbed Bing Xiao's neck, lifting Bing Xiao up. Bing Xiao's face turned red as he struggled to breathe. Bing Xiaoan quickly said, "Please let go of my husband." Zhao Fu looked at Bing Xiaoan and said, "You still want to plead for this kind of man?" Bing Xiaoan lowered her head sadly. "He's my husband and also Bing Xiang's son. If you hurt him, the consequences will be severe. Put my son down." A berating voice rang out. Two mature beauties walked out with a few maids. One was dignified, wearing a purple dress, and the other was fierce, wearing a red dress. They were Bing Shanlin's two wives, Bing Xiuelu and Bing Huiyan. The one who had berated Zhao Fu was Bing Huiyan. Hearing this, Zhao Fu threw Bing Xiao aside. Bing Xiao gasped for air. Bing Xiuelu asked what happened. The two maids answered nervously. Young Master hit Madam again, and this lady was kind enough to stop Young Master. Bing Xiuelu sighed. "Huiyan, your son needs to change his bad habit. How can he always hit Xiaoan for no reason?" Bing Huiyan snorted coldly. "Even if my son hit her, it's our family's business. What does it have to do with you? And who are you? If you don't talk, I'll call someone." Zhao Fu snorted. "I'll teach you a lesson today." Boom! A powerful power flowed out of Zhao Fu's body, and pale white roots grew from the ground, binding up the two beauties, Bing Xiao and the others. Facing this power, they could not resist at all, and their expressions were quite unsightly. Zhao Fu helped Bing Xiaoan up from the ground and asked caringly, "Are you all right?" This made Bing Xiaoan feel quite touched, and her eyes became moist as she shook her head. Zhao Fu said, "What do you want to do with them?" Bing Xiaoan said softly, "Let them go. Don't make a big deal out of this." Zhao Fu sent a wave of power into Bing Xiaoan's body, healing her injuries and the bruises on her body, and said, "I won't hide it from you. I've come to wipe out your family." "What?" Bing Xiaoan looked quite confused. She could not believe that the kind Zhao Fu had come to wipe out her family. Everyone else felt quite startled. They had never thought that things would turn out like this. Bing Xiao said fearfully, "Don't kill me." Bing Xiuelu and Bing Huiyan also looked quite afraid, and Bing Xiuelu said, "We could discuss this. You know who we are and what the consequences will be." Bing Huiyan said, "Why do you want to wipe out the Bing family? I don't remember having an enemy like you." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I made a deal with someone." Bing Huiyan asked who. Zhao Fu lightly laughed. "Do you think I'll tell you?" Bing Huiyan said, "No matter what the deal is, we're willing to pay back tenfold. Please let the Bing family go." Bing Xiaoan said sadly, "You want to kill me as well?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "How is that possible?" Bing Xiaoan looked at Zhao Fu in confusion, while Zhao Fu directly bullied her. Bing Xiao looked at this scene angrily. The others were quite dissatisfied as Zhao Fu bullied Bing Xiaoan in front of them. After a while, Bing Xiaoan's face blushed as she leaned into Zhao Fu's embrace and said coquettishly, "You're a bad guy. I had a good impression of you, but it turns out that you didn't have any good intentions from start." Zhao Fu lightly laughed. Bing Xiaoan hugged Zhao Fu with both hands and looked at Zhao Fu. "Let them go and I'll go with you." Zhao Fu said, "They've treated you so badly, and you still want to plead for them?" Bing Xiaoan nodded. The two beautiful maids quickly said, "Madam, please take us with you." If Bing Xiaoan left with Zhao Fu, then as her maids, they would die miserably. Bing Xiaoan smiled as she said, "Sure." Zhao Fu thought about it and smiled as he said, "There's no need for that. You don't have to go." Bing Xiaoan looked at Zhao Fu strangely. Half a day later, Bing Shanlin returned from dealing with administrative matters. He felt it was strange that he didn't see his wife and son. As he walked towards the inner courtyard, he heard some noises and angrily walked towards a room. Indeed, he saw a scene that made him furious. "Someone come," Bing Shanlin roared. However, no one came, causing Bing Shanlin to be shocked. Bing Huiyan also came to her senses and looked at Zhao Fu pleadingly. Zhao Fu didn't pay attention to her. He waved his hand, and a few pale roots came out from the ground, binding Bing Shanlin's body. A massive power entered Bing Shanlin's body, controlling him. Chapter 3183. Book 1, Chapter 128. After a while, Zhao Fu was hugging the two beautiful women and Bing Xiaowan, and the maids were lying beside him. Ice Snow Dew asked, "What did you do to them?" Zhao Fu said, "Now that they are under my control, if you don't obey me, I can kill them at any time." Bing Huiyan snorted lightly. "We didn't say that we were disobedient. Why are you threatening us?" Zhao Fu chuckled. Bing Huiyan looked at Zhao Fu and asked, "Just who sent you?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment and said, "It doesn't matter if I tell you now. It was the second princess who asked me to destroy your family. The Ice Origin Kingdom is about to change." Hearing this, the women were shocked. Bing Xue Lu said, "The second princess is so bold. How dare you rebel? Isn't she afraid that her whole family will be executed?" Bing Huiyan said seriously, "That might not necessarily be the case. With Bing Qixue's current reputation, it will be easy for him to become the new king." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "With my help, it will be even smoother. As long as Bing Qi becomes a king, all of you who call yourselves pure Ice King will be executed." Bing Huiyan gave a flirtatious smile as she hugged Zhao Fu. "Is Lily still willing to kill us?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you." Hearing this, all the women heaved a sigh of relief. Zhao Fu said with a smile, "I have to go somewhere else, so I'll leave first." All the girls nodded in agreement. Zhao Fu suddenly thought of something and reminded him, "Also, don't hurt Lil Wan. If I find out, don't blame me." Hearing that Zhao Fu was still thinking about her, Bing Xiaowan revealed a happy smile. Bing Huiyan said, "We wouldn't dare, other than my son, who would hurt her." Zhao Fu nodded and disappeared. Today was a night with a bright moon and few stars. Zhao Fu spent a lot of time in the Bing family, and at this time, Zhao Fu came to another military tent. The second person on the list was a general of the Ice Kingdom. He controlled a large army and was also a great threat. He was a target that had to be eliminated. Without his support, the pure Ice King would lose an arm. His name was Ice Abyss. Zhao Fu entered the tent. There were 8 people inside. A valiant-looking man sat beside the table. He was Ice Yuan. Apart from him, there was also a woman in armor with a hot figure and a handsome face. When Ice Abyss saw Zhao Fu appear, his eyes turned cold. "Capture him." "Yes." The 7 women shouted and rushed toward Zhao Fu. The 7 women's bodies gave off a cold light and started to freeze, forming a magic formation. They gave off powerful auras as they rushed at Zhao Fu. These 7 women had been carefully chosen by Ice Abyss, and they could form the Ice Women Killing Formation to protect him. Even a World Realm expert would not be able to do anything to them. Facing the 7 women giving off powerful auras, Zhao Fu stretched out a hand and grabbed at the air, causing a terrifying power to lock the 7 women in the air. Ice Abyss looked quite confused as he said, "I never thought that Zhao Fu would be so powerful." However, Ice Abyss quickly calmed down and asked, "Whose side are you on? The second princess or the 5th princess?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "The second princess." Ice Abyss smiled as he said, "If it's the second princess, that's not bad. I can accept Bing Qixue becoming the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom." Zhao Fu felt quite surprised as he asked, "You support the second princess seizing power?" Ice Abyss said, "With the Heaven-awakened world becoming more and more dangerous, Bing Qixue becoming king is the best choice. Right now, not only does His Majesty lack power, but he is also extremely narrow-minded. I have to be careful to avoid his suspicions. Right now, he's still the king of the Ice Origin Kingdom. I won't help you, nor will I help him. I'll obey whoever wins and becomes the new king." Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "That's fine. Just in case, I'll leave a restriction in your body." Ice Abyss said, "All right, Zhao Fu walked towards Ice Abyss. Suddenly, an ice needle soundlessly shot toward Zhao Fu, causing Zhao Fu's expression to fall. He immediately unleashed a defensive barrier, but it was pierced through by the ice needle. Zhao Fu immediately used his Void Realm's power to grab at the ice needle. Ice Abyss immediately ran to the side. He was incomparably shocked. That was an incomparably precious treasure that could kill experts above the world realm. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and grabbed Ice Abyss. Ice Abyss coldly harumphed. He had been too careless and had believed him. If it was an ordinary person with world realm cultivation, they might have died to that silent ice needle. With Bing Qishue's suspicious and narrow-minded personality, in order to gain his trust, one had to be sufficiently loyal and would not be easily convinced. Zhao Fu walked towards Ice Abyss. Now, Ice Abyss was completely panicking and begged, "Give me another chance. I'm willing to help you take the throne." Zhao Fu said coldly, "I've already given you a chance, but you didn't cherish it." A powerful wave of energy entered Ice Abyss's body. Zhao Fu was still quite angry at being deceived by Ice Abyss, so he intentionally tortured Ice Abyss, causing him to feel immense pain and howl. There was a barrier set up around the tent, so no sound could be heard. Seeing Ice Abyss's pained expression, the 7 women said furiously, "We're going to kill you. You actually dare to do this to our lord." Zhao Fu looked at the 7 of them and released their shackles. They immediately gave off a cold aura and charged toward Zhao Fu. However, Zhao Fu waved his hand and a massive wave of energy sealed their bodies. Zhao Fu said disdainfully, "You still want to kill me? You're just a bunch of ants." The leading woman coldly harumphed, "What do you want?" Zhao Fu gave an evil smile and walked towards them. Late at night, Zhao Fu prepared to leave. The woman on the ground coldly harumphed, "Stop." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "What do you want? Do you want more?" The woman cursed, "Damn bastard. What did you do to our lord?" Now, Ice Abyss was lying on the side like a corpse. Zhao Fu said, "His life isn't in danger. He's just under my control. Also, I won't let go of his control, so don't even think about it." The woman said, "Then aren't you going to control us? Aren't you afraid that we'll leak the news?" Zhao Fu smiled confidently and said, "You can try." The woman immediately leapt up and punched towards Zhao Fu's perfect face. However, just as she was about to hit Zhao Fu, the woman's body stopped. It was as if her body had been sealed by some sort of power. The woman sensed the power sealing her body and said coldly, "So you've long since left seals in our bodies?" Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and lifted the woman's chin as he smiled and said, "What's your name?" The woman said coldly, "Ice Dragon." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I'll remember it. When I have time, I'll come again. You should prepare yourselves." The woman said angrily and embarrassedly, "You might as well kill us." Zhao Fu ignored her and turned to leave. Chapter 3184. Book 1, Chapter 129, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here, the third on the list was a woman who controlled a merchant group. This merchant group was the wealthiest in the Ice Origin Kingdom, and it was only because of the secret support of the pure Ice King that it could reach such a scale. Zhao Fu infiltrated the merchant group. A woman wearing a white dress with a graceful figure and an intellectual temperament was sitting on a chair, thinking about something. She was Zhao Fu's target, Bing Luo. Zhao Fu was just about to make a move when 4 women walked in. One was beautiful and alluring, called Bing Xiaochun. One had a sexy figure called Bing Lingye. One had a charming temperament called Bing Shuanghao, and one had a sweet appearance called Bing Mingli. Bing Xiaochun smiled and said, "Big sister, what are you thinking about?" Bing Luo said, "I feel that something is amiss recently. It seems that a faction is helping the 2nd princess and the 5th princess. What sort of faction is it? I have been investigating, but I have noticed a person who might be related to this matter." Bing Shuanghao asked, "Who is it?" Bing Luo shook her head. "I'm not sure. I only know that he likes to wear a cloak and has entered the princess's residence a few times." His identity is very suspicious. Bing Lingye said softly, "We do not have to worry about this matter. Isn't His Majesty willing to support Bing Qixue to become king?" Bing Luo knew that the pure Ice King had poisoned Bing Qixue and his mother, but she could not tell others. She could only sigh and say, "The matter is not as simple as you think." Bing Xiaochun smiled and said, "Now that the two alchemist armies have been repelled by us, what else could happen? Big sister, don't think too much about it." Bing Luo shook her head. "If that faction is not found, it will always be a hidden danger. I am also worried that the second princess has been plotting something." Bing Mingli said, "I have seen that the second princess is very normal. Recently, she has been staying at home and has not met anyone. She should not be doing anything." "Ah, you are wrong. She's indeed plotting something." A man's voice suddenly sounded, causing the expressions of the women present to change. They saw a man wearing a black cloak appear. Bing Luo said with a cold face, "It's you?" The other women looked at Bing Luo strangely. Bing Luo explained, "He is the one who enters the princess's residence." Bing Shuanghao asked, "Why are you here? Why are you looking for us?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Haven't you all been looking for someone to support the consort? I've come to tell you." Bing Luo said then. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "No problem, but if you want to know, you have to pay a price." Bing Luo asked, "What price?" Bing Luo asked, "What?" A few hours later, Zhao Fu toyed with Bing Luo as he smiled and said, "You're not bad. Why didn't the pure Ice King touch you?" Bing Bing Luo, Chun Luo, 1 Mo Chen 1, Bing Luo 2, Bing Dynasty Chen Mo Chun Bimo, Mini 2 Chen 1 2 the 2 Zhao Zhao of Zhao Shur of Mo Fu Chun and 2 2 1 King. Everyone hearing Bing Fu 1 Bing Luo asked coldly, "Then what's your goal?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "I don't have a goal, but the second princess does. I'm just following her orders." Bing Luo immediately asked, "What's the second princess's goal?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Why should I tell you?" Bing Luo angrily harumphed. Bing Shuanghao said flirtatiously, "Now that we're all yours, tell us." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "All right, let me tell you. The princess's goal is to help Bing Qixue ascend to the throne." The women's expressions changed. Bing Luo hurriedly asked, "Then how is her plot progressing?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "It's going very smoothly. I'll also tell you that before I came here, I already controlled Iceberg Mountain and that general. The second princess will quickly start a coup and help Bing Qixue seize the throne." Hearing this, the women's faces turned pale. Bing Mingli thought of something and asked nervously, "Why are you telling us so much? Could it be that you want to?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, Dead people don't reveal secrets." Hearing that Zhao Fu wanted to kill them, the women felt afraid and wanted to escape. However, no matter how much strength they had, it was impossible for them to escape. Bing Luo said with a cold expression, "If you want to kill me, then kill me. Let my 4 sisters go. They're innocent." "Big sis." The 4 women looked at Bing Luo and called out emotionally. Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, "I'm just teasing you. I can't bear to kill you." Bing Mingli rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, "You really scared me to death." The other women let out sighs of relief. Bing Luo looked at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu smiled and said, "What is it?" Bing Luo said coldly, "We can serve you and provide you with more women. Please help His Majesty." Zhao Fu lightly laughed. Those who obtained the trust of the pure Ice King were indeed loyal. Now, they were all thinking of helping the pure Ice King. Looking at Bing Luo, Zhao Fu coldly said, "Do you think that's possible? You should give up on him. Otherwise, don't blame me." Bing Ling Yi softly persuaded, "Don't be angry. My big sis hasn't adapted yet. She'll be fine in a few days." Now, they were clear about the situation. The pure Ice King had lost their support and was destined to be ousted. They were not that loyal to the pure Ice King. Bing Shuang said with a smile, "Didn't my big sis like you a while ago?" Zhao Fu lightly snorted. Bing Luo turned her face away. Thinking of what had just happened, her face turned slightly red. She did not expect that she would treat Zhao Fu that way. Zhao Fu said, "I still have things to do. I'll be leaving first. Bing Mingli asked, are you going to continue controlling the others? Zhao Fu nodded. Bing Mingli smiled and said, got it. Come back tonight. Zhao Fu revealed a trace of a smile and nodded before leaving the room. The few women looked at Bing Luo and started to persuade her. The pure Ice King no longer had any hope, so she did not want to throw her life away. However, Bing Luo's thoughts could not be changed in a short period of time. Zhao Fu's fourth target was another minister of the imperial court. He snuck in. He saw a voluptuous and beautiful woman feeding a baby. Beside her was a gentle-looking man. He was Zhao Fu's target. The two of them looked at the baby lovingly and did not notice that Zhao Fu had snuck into their room. Zhao Fu did not waste any time. A hand appeared and grabbed the man, and a powerful evil power entered his body. The beautiful woman cried out in panic, what are you doing? Quickly let go of my husband. Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, if you want your husband to live, immediately come and serve me. Otherwise, I'll kill him now. The beautiful woman glared at Zhao Fu in shame, but for her husband's life, she walked toward Zhao Fu. Chapter 3185. Book 1. Chapter 130. Only later did Zhao Fu find out that she was called Bing Zhumei. Zhao Fu left her behind and had to deal with the next person. Bing Zhumei lay on the bed in tears. Zhao Fu found another target, which was another minister. There was only one person in his house, and everyone else had gone out to play, so Zhao Fu had him under control. After another 2 days, there was only one person left on the list. Zhao Fu went to that minister's residence by himself and found that there was another man who had snuck in and entered a beautiful woman's room. The man looked quite good-looking, but he also looked quite romantic, while the beautiful woman looked quite virtuous. After entering the room, the man impatiently hugged the beautiful woman. Zhao Fu pushed open the door and said righteously, you dare to do such a thing. I'll immediately call people to catch you too. Even though they did not know Zhao Fu's identity, what they did could not be seen. Hearing Zhao Fu immediately call people, they did not have time to think. The man's face turned pale, and he hurriedly rushed out of the window, wanting to escape. Zhao Fu coldly harumphed and waved his hand, causing a ray of light to shoot through the man's body, causing him to fall to the ground and die. The beautiful woman collapsed to the ground and cried. Zhao Fu coldly harumphed. What else do you have to say? The beautiful woman said, I didn't follow the rules of a woman, but please don't tell anyone. Zhao Fu shamelessly said, you did such a thing, and you still want people to not tell anyone? I hate this kind of thing the most. The beautiful woman begged, I can die. You can kill me now, but I want to preserve my reputation and not bring shame to my family. Zhao Fu said, what reputation do you want? The beautiful woman could not refute him and could only lower her head and cry. At that moment, a young man walked in and looked at the scene in front of him and asked curiously, what happened? He was a general called Bing Yu, and he was Zhao Fu's target. Zhao Fu said righteously, if I saw this man sneaking into your mansion and came over to have a look, I would have found this man and your wife together. If that man wanted to escape, I would have killed him. Bing Yu looked at his wife. The beautiful woman was called Bing Xiaowan. She lowered her head and did not have the face to look at Bing Yu. Bing Yu sighed, pack your things and leave. Bing Xiaowan looked up at Bing Yu and cried as she said, husband. Bing Yu said, don't say any more. Bing Xiaowan lowered her head and cried on the ground. Bing Yu turned to Zhao Fu and said, thank you for your help. I will especially thank you for your help. This is a family scandal, so please don't spread it around. Zhao Fu said, no problem. Suddenly, Bing Xiaowan smashed into a wall as if she was seeking death. She no longer had the face to continue living. Bing Yu was startled. He wanted to stop them, but it was too late. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and an invisible force grabbed the beautiful woman. Bing Yu hurriedly went up and said, why are you so stupid? Bing Xiaowan cried and said, I don't have the face to face you anymore. I might as well die. Bing Yu said, I've been away for many years, and I have my reasons for you to do such a thing. Since things have come to this, I don't want to talk about it anymore. You leaving is the best outcome. Bing Xiaowan cried and said, I'm sorry, husband. Zhao Fu asked curiously, how did you get together? Bing Xiaowan started to explain. Originally, Bing Xiaowan had been waiting for Bing Yu to come back. However, waiting for a long time caused her heart to feel empty. That man took the opportunity to appear and used flowery words to obtain Bing Xiaowan. Hearing this, Bing Yu sighed and did not know what to do. Zhao Fu smiled and said, Friend, I'll help you deal with this. Bing Yu looked at Zhao Fu strangely and saw Zhao Fu pick up Bing Xiaowan and walk toward the bed as he said, What are you going to do? A pale root stretched out from the ground and bound the young man. A powerful evil qi entered his body, and the young man soon lost consciousness. Bing Xiaowan asked softly, What did you do to my husband? Zhao Fu smiled and said, He's fine, don't worry. Bing Xiaowan said with a red face, Then what do you want to do to me? Zhao Fu smiled and said, I want to punish you. 2 hours later, Bing Xiaowan weakly nestled in Zhao Fu's embrace and said, You were so righteous just a moment ago, but it turns out that you're so bad. Zhao Fu smiled and said, How do you feel? Bing Xiaowan said with a red face, Yes, I'm very satisfied. Zhao Fu said with a smile, Then I'm leaving. Bing Xiaowan said, You're leaving just like this? You're not going to take me away? Zhao Fu said with a smile, Yes, I'll be the master of this place from now on. Bing Xiaowan asked, What about my husband? Zhao Fu said, He's already under my control, and something big is going to happen in the Ice Plain Kingdom. You need to make preparations. Bing Xiaowan said, What big thing? Zhao Fu smiled and said, The second princess is about to rebel and have Bing Qixue become a king. Bing Xiaowan looked quite shocked. No wonder you want to control my husband. If the second princess succeeds, can you let my husband go? I'll serve you well in the future. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded, Sure. Bing Xiaowan happily smiled and said, Thank you. You'll be my only man in the future. No one can compare to you. Zhao Fu lightly laughed and left. After returning to the ice-cold charm's residence, Zhao Fu smiled and said, I've finished what I wanted. The ice-cold charm rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, Why don't you play with a few more women? Zhao Fu chuckled and said, How can they compare to you? Zhao Fu went up and hugged the ice-cold charm. The ice-cold charm lightly harumphed. However, I still have to thank you. With you controlling them, there won't be any accidents. Right now, His Majesty doesn't know about this and is most likely still immersed in his plan to kill us mother and son. Zhao Fu asked, What are you going to act? The ice-cold charm smiled as she said, I'm waiting for a good opportunity to act. It should be within this week. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, If there's anything you need, just tell me. The ice-cold charm hugged Zhao Fu and smiled as she said, Thank you, husband. At that moment, Icy Cold Charm walked in from outside. Seeing this scene, her face became slightly red as she called out, Husband, when did you come back? Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I just came back. You should come over as well. Icy Cold Charm obediently came to Zhao Fu's side. Time gradually passed, and the pure Ice King felt quite anxious, wondering if 3 months was too long. Why was it so long? After thinking about it, the pure Ice King decided to act early and planned to kill Bing Qixue and his mother within this month. The old man who had poisoned them did not say anything and followed the pure Ice King's orders, continuing to poison the ice-cold charm and Bing Qixue's food. However, his luck was not as good as last time, as Zhao Fu just happened to be by the ice-cold charm side. Chapter 3186. Book 1. Chapter 131. Zhao Fu sensed that the elder had snuck in and slammed out with his palm, sending a massive wave of energy towards the elder. The elder crashed to the ground and coughed up a large mouthful of blood. The ice demon asked, What is it? Zhao Fu said, Just now, someone tried to sneak in. I don't know who it was, but I've heavily injured him. The ice demon put on her clothes, and the two of them went to the courtyard outside the room, where they saw the elder on the ground. It's you. The ice demon's expression became cold. She recognized the elder's identity. The elder's expression was quite unsightly as he stared at Zhao Fu and said, "Who are you?" The elder had never thought that the queen's residence would have such a terrifying expert. Even with his strength, he had not been able to block a single attack. Zhao Fu laughed as he said, "Me? Take a guess." The elder coldly harumphed. "You're the person who helped the queen, right? I advise you to stay out of this. This is the Ice Origin Kingdom's internal affairs." Zhao Fu laughed as he said, "So what if I get involved?" The elder coldly said, "You'll definitely pay the price." Zhao Fu laughed as he raised his hand, preparing to kill the elder. The ice demon stopped Zhao Fu and said, "Don't kill him yet. He's still useful." Hearing this, Zhao Fu held onto the ice demon and hugged her. Seeing this, the elder cried out in shock, "You shameless couple." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and waved his hand, sending out a wave of energy that sent the elder flying. Following this, the ice demon had Zhao Fu hide and called over Bing Qixue, saying, "Look at this yourself. This person is your royal father's most trusted person, and it was him who poisoned us. Are you still going to speak up for your royal father?" Bing Qixue looked at the elder with a complicated expression and did not say anything. The elder hurriedly explained, "It wasn't His Majesty's order. I acted on my own. It has nothing to do with His Majesty. You're His Majesty's son, so you have to believe in His Majesty." The ice demon looked at Bing Qixue and said, "You have to declare your position. I won't tolerate you continuing like this." The old man quickly spoke up, "Your Majesty, your mother committed adultery with a man in order to seize the throne of the Ice Origin Kingdom. You must not believe it, otherwise the Ice Origin Kingdom will be finished." Bing Qixue waved his hand, and his finger gave off a cold light as he cut open the elder's throat. Blood spurted out, and the elder clutched his throat as he unwillingly fell to the ground, dead. Bing Qixue said, "I'm willing to overthrow my father." The icy charm gave a satisfied smile and said, "My good son, this is what you've been looking for. Now, prepare yourself." The icy demon returned to the room and said with a smile, "Let's start." Zhao Fu walked out and nodded with a smile. The ice-cold charm came to the palace and found the pure ice monarch as she lightly laughed and said, "Your Majesty, I'm very curious. I just obtained a snow jade deer. This is a rare delicacy. Our family can sit together and have a good meal." Looking at the poisoned icy imp, the pure ice king thought about how the icy imp would soon die, so he did not refuse and immediately said, "Sure." The princesses also received the news. The sixth princess and third princess did not know anything, so they did not think too much about it before coming over. Icy Cold Clothes frowned and said, "I don't know what the icy imp wants to do, but she faintly feels that it is not simple." In the end, she decided to go and take a look. The whole family sat on a round table covered with red cloth. On the table, there's already wine and dishes that looked, smelled good. It made people want to have a big meal. The icy demon smiled as she said, "Everyone, let's eat together. This snow jade deer's meat is quite rare." The third princess smiled as she said, The icy demon smiled as she said, "Third princess, your complexion looks quite good. It seems that you're going to recover soon, right?" The third princess thought of Zhao Fu, and her face became slightly red as she lightly nodded. The pure ice king looked at the third princess and smiled as he said, "What medicine have you been eating recently for you to recover so quickly? I'm quite surprised. I need to properly reward that doctor." The third princess's face became red as she said, I'll properly thank him." Icy Cold Clothes stared at the icy demon and said, "Third princess, why did you call us here?" The icy demon placed a piece of meat into Queen Bing Huer's bowl and smiled as she said, "It's nothing much. Isn't it good for everyone to have a good meal together?" Icy Cold Clothes lightly harumphed, evidently not believing her, but he did not say anything. The icy demon picked up another piece of meat for the pure ice king and smiled as she said, "Your Majesty, how many years have we been husband and wife?" The pure ice king's expression froze. He could not remember, and he asked awkwardly, "Why are you suddenly asking this?" The icy demon smiled as she said, "It's been 32 years." The pure Ice King awkwardly smiled as he nodded. It's been that many years." The icy demon poured another cup of wine for the pure Ice King and smiled as she said, "Your Majesty, how many years have you been on the throne?" Hearing this, the pure Ice King frowned. The other princesses also looked at the icy demon. The icy demon looked at the countless gazes and smiled as she said, "Your Majesty, ever since you became king, our icy origin kingdom's strength has been declining. You've been king for so many years. Shouldn't you step down?" The pure Ice King said coldly, "Second princess, you're going too far. Aren't you afraid that I'll banish you to the cold palace?" The icy demon lightly laughed as she said, "Why would I be afraid of banishing me to the cold palace? Your Majesty, didn't you want to poison me to death?" Hearing this, the other princesses all looked quite confused. The pure Ice King's expression changed as he understood that the matter had been leaked, and he immediately shouted, "Men, capture the second princess." However, there was no response. This caused everyone present to feel quite startled, and they hurriedly left, planning to leave this hall. The icy demon calmly and confidently sat on the table as she smiled and said, "Your Majesty, I'll give you one last chance. I'll give you one last chance. If you abdicate now, I won't kill you." The pure Ice King coldly harumphed, "Stop dreaming. Since you dare to speak to me like that, second princess, you're dead." The pure Ice King did not pay any more attention to the icy demon and hurriedly ran out, worried that there might be an ambush. Outside, Bing Shanlin and the others walked in. Seeing this, the pure Ice King was overjoyed and immediately called out, "Hurry and capture the second princess." Bang! A muffled sound rang out as Bing Yu punched towards the pure Ice King's chest, sending him flying and causing him to cough up a mouthful of blood. The pure Ice King looked quite confused as he said, "You guys." Bing Hani's expression became quite unsightly. These people were the pure Ice King's most trusted people, so why did it seem like they had betrayed him? The icy demon lightly laughed as she said, "Your Majesty, do you think you can still escape?" The pure Ice King's face became pale. He had never thought that things would turn out like this. He started to panic and felt that everything was over. Bing Huer sighed as she said, "Your Majesty, if you step down now, you might be able to live." Hearing this, the pure Ice King immediately said, "I'm willing to step down. Don't kill me, and I'll immediately make you the new king of the Icy Origin Kingdom." Chapter 3187. Book 1, Chapter 132, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike here. It's too late. The Iceman said furiously, "Do you really want to kill me?" The Iceman said with a smile, "I won't kill you, but I'll leave this decision to the fifth princess." Icy Cold Clothes looked quite confused. "What? Leave him to me?" The Iceman smiled and nodded. "If you want to kill him, then kill him. If you want to let him go, then let him go. I definitely won't interfere." Icy Cold Clothes said with a cold expression, "Why?" The Iceman said with a smile, "There's only one king in the Icy Origin Kingdom, and I don't want your son to fight for it. I don't want to act against you and your son. Right now, the power of the Icy Origin Kingdom is in my hands, and you need to understand the current situation." Icy Cold Clothes started to think. Thinking about the death of her beloved big brother, a trace of killing intent appeared in her eyes as she said, "All right, I promise you. This was already the best choice, or else they might die." However, this was not very likely, as she believed that Zhao Fu would protect them. Even though Zhao Fu was a bit fickle, he still valued them greatly. The Iceman gave a satisfied smile. Icy Cold Clothes looked at the third princess and asked, "How do you plan to deal with him? Your whole family died at his hands." The third princess looked at the Iceman and shook her head with a complicated expression, saying, "I don't know." Icy Cold Clothes said coldly, "I wanted to pay for my big brother's death." The Iceman begged, "Don't kill me. I was wrong in the past. Please give me another chance. The Queen, please help me." The Queen Bing Hur could not help but say, Can't we let him off? The Iceman said, that's what he says now, but if he had power, would he still do this? Do you believe what he's done all these years? Since you poison us to death, he'll also poison you to death. Bing-Hur looked quite troubled as she said softly, I don't care, just deal with it quickly. Icy Cold Clothes took out a sword and walked towards the Iceman. The Iceman hurriedly got up and ran to the side. Chi! A sword pierced through the Iceman's chest, and he looked at the sword with an unwilling expression as he powerlessly fell to the ground, blood flowing all over the ground. Icy Cold Clothes pulled out her sword and smiled. Big brother, I've finally avenged you. The other concubines looked at the dead pure Ice King with different expressions. Killing the pure Ice King with a single sword strike and not torturing him was already merciful. At this time, Zhao Fu walked in and said with a smile, have you guys settled everything? Seeing Zhao Fu walk in, the beautiful women all gave a trace of a smile. The icy demoness smiled and said, it's done. It's all thanks to your help. Otherwise, it would not have been so easy for me. The third princess saw that Zhao Fu was very familiar with her, and after thinking about it, she understood their relationship. She felt quite disappointed, as she had thought that Zhao Fu only had her. Icy Cold Clothes glared at Zhao Fu and snorted. Why did you choose to help the second consort instead of me? Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I did it for the good of the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Qi Xue becoming the new king is something that everyone is looking forward to, and there are many more factions supporting the second consort. Choosing them will be beneficial to the stability of the Ice Origin Kingdom. In the end, the Heaven Awakened world will become more and more difficult, and Bing Qi Xue is more suitable. He has the ability to deal with things, but your son is a bit lacking, so having him become a king is not bad. Icy Cold Clothes said, all right, that's enough. Zhao Fu smiled and hugged Icy Cold Clothes as he said, how about I make it up to you? Icy Cold Clothes' face became red and she nodded. Deep into the night, there were only a few lonely stars in the deep blue sky. The Ice Origin Kingdom was completely silent, and the night was intoxicating. Within the hall, Zhao Fu hugged the women as he smiled and said, now that this matter has been resolved, I'm going to return to my faction. Bing-Hur said reluctantly, you're leaving so soon? Isn't it better to stay in the Ice Origin Kingdom for a few more days? Zhao Fu smiled as he said, when I have time, I'll come to the Ice Origin Kingdom. Bing Xianhua lightly harumphed as she said, who knows when you'll be free? Moreover, your faction is so far away, and it might take half a month to go back and forth. How many days can you spend with us? Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, I'm actually someone from the ancient STEM domain. Hearing this, the women looked quite shocked, and Icy Cold Clothes said, aren't you an emperor? The ancient STEM domain doesn't have any empires. How can you be someone from the ancient STEM domain? Zhao Fu loudly laughed as he said, have you heard of the Qin Empire? The women looked at Zhao Fu in shock, feeling a massive blow to their hearts. Their minds went blank as their hearts rapidly thumped. The man lying next to them was the great enemy of the ancient STEM domain's many royal kingdoms and factions. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, we didn't expect this, did you? Icy Cold Beauty smiled as she said, indeed, no wonder no one has been able to break into the Qin Empire. So it's because you're the ruler of the Qin Empire. You've hidden yourself too deeply. Bing-Hur smiled as she said, I'm also quite surprised, but this is good for us. In the future, we won't have to worry about the threat of the Qin Empire, and you can come back to see us often. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Icy Cold Beauty looked at Zhao Fu and said, you bad fellow, you're not helping us out of the goodness of your heart, right? You want to take revenge on the Ice Origin Kingdom for attacking the Qin Empire, and you also want to control the Ice Origin Kingdom and get rid of an enemy faction. Icy Cold Clothes lightly harumphed as she said, I underestimated you. I thought you were just lustful. I never thought that you would be so scheming. If you didn't tell us, we would have been toyed with by you. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, I'm not telling you now because I trust you. Icy Cold Beauty smiled as she said, I don't plan on pursuing this matter. After all, you bad fellow, not only did you help us, but you're also our man. In the future, if the Ice Origin Kingdom is in danger, we'll need your help." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. "That's no problem." News quickly spread throughout the Ice Origin Kingdom that the pure Ice King had suddenly died and passed the throne to Bing Qixue, who had become the new king. Even though the ordinary residents were quite surprised by this, they were still quite happy that Bing Qixue had become king and were willing to support him. The officials and soldiers understood that things were not so simple, and they guessed that Icy Cold Beauty had succeeded in seizing power and killed the pure Ice King to support her son. There were many ministers who supported Bing Qixue, and now that he had devoured the pure Ice King's faction, no one could shake the throne. Some people were angry, but could only give in, while others were dissatisfied and wanted to do something. As such, the situation in the Ice Origin Kingdom was not very stable. Zhao Fu did not have time to care about these things. With Bing Qixue's abilities, he would most likely be able to handle it. On the day that Bing Qixue became the new king, Zhao Fu returned to the Qin Empire. Chapter 3188. Book 1, Chapter 133 Rumble. A group of green armor cavalrymen gave off a massive aura as they charged toward a city wall. They instantly broke through the city wall, and the green-armored soldiers started to fight with the other soldiers. Blood flew everywhere as cries continuously sounded out. Now, the Shimu Kingdom was attacking another alliance. As expected, this alliance was unable to defend against the Shenmu Kingdom's attack. Some people in the alliance chose to surrender. After hearing that those who surrendered to the Shenmu Kingdom were treated well, some people were unwilling and immediately chose to escape. Now, there was only one alliance left, and only a third of the alliance's forces remained. Zhao Fu had just returned and heard this news, so he was not too surprised. He did not bother with this matter and went to the other worlds to check on the situation. This was because Zhao Fu wanted to head to the water domain. If the other bases were fine, even if something happened to Qin, the other bases would be able to provide reinforcements. Moreover, with the Jin family around, they would be able to help out. There would not be 2 or 3 factions spawning near Qin. Their safety would not be too threatened. As for the final water race Imperial Star, Zhao Fu could not wait any longer. By now, the last of the allied factions were gathered together in distress. They had never thought that they would soon be destroyed by the Godwood Kingdom before being destroyed by Great Qin. They did not have any confidence in stopping the Godwood Kingdom, and they knew that they had no chance of winning. AI, what should we do now? The Shenmu Kingdom will most likely attack us soon. With our current strength, we won't be able to stop them. That's right. Let's think this through. When they attack, we'll just eat them. I don't have the heart to resist anymore. Even if we resist, we'll lose, and countless people will die. Then should we submit to the Shenmu Kingdom? Yes, I think submitting to the Shenmu Kingdom is a good idea. The Shenmu Kingdom is very benevolent to us Heaven-Awakened World people, unlike the other worlds. As such, I suggest submitting to the Shenmu Kingdom. Che, have you been bribed by the Shenmu Kingdom? Why are you supporting the Shenmu Kingdom like this? I don't care. Submitting to the Shenmu Kingdom is the best choice. What else do you want? Isn't submitting to Qin good? His abilities are also from the Heaven-Awakened world, and he's been there for many years. Qin has nothing to say about how he treats the residents, so we understand Qin even better. Do you know more about the Shenmu tax? Yes. Although Qin is cruel to his enemies, he is still very good to the people. It's mainly because we have known each other for so long and have a certain understanding of each other. That Shenmu Kingdom is, after all, an external force. Who knows what they will do to us in the future? But we used to be Qin's enemies. Will Qin accept us? That's right. Let's see what Qin wants to study first. If Qin is willing to take us in, that would be the best choice. Everyone nodded. I support this decision. Zhao Fu was currently in the Chaos World. Ericina looked at Zhao Fu and said, "Those people who passed with you have sent you many messages. Do you want to reply?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Are you asking me when I'm going back?" Ericina nodded and said, "You seem quite impatient." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, Right now, the situation is quite special. The people in the chaos world are all waiting for me to appear, and I don't want to appear in the chaos world. I'm worried that something will happen, and if the chaos world joins in attacking the heaven-awakened world, the heaven-awakened world will be in an even more difficult situation. Ericina asked, "Are you planning on not replying to them?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Ericina rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, "Did you treat us like this in the past? You knew we were in a hurry to find you, but you purposefully did not reply?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "How could that be?" Ericina lightly harumphed. Zhao Fu went up and hugged Ericina as he said, "I'm planning on going to the water domain, and I came to say goodbye to you." Ericina nodded and said, "I know you won't be staying in Qin for too long." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "I still have to go to other worlds, so I'll be leaving first." By now, Zhao Fu had just received news that the Alliance wanted to see him. Zhao Fu thought about it and returned to Qin. The people who had come were all ambassadors from the Alliance. Zhao Fu sat at the top of the hall and smiled as he said, "What do you all want to see me for?" A black-haired elder respectfully bowed and said, "Your Majesty, you should know that the Alliance only has 1/3 of its forces left and is powerless to stop the Divine Wood Kingdom. Any royal kingdom's faction can destroy us, so we've come to see you on behalf of the various factions." Zhao Fu nodded and said, "What do you want?" The black-haired elder said, "The various factions' leaders want to submit to you, but because of what happened in the past, they are hesitant and want to see your Majesty's attitude." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, "Submit to Qin? That's fine. I don't want to bicker with you about what happened in the past." Everyone looked delighted. They had never thought that it would be so easy. The black-haired elder said excitedly, "Is that true, Your Majesty?" Zhao Fu nodded. The black-haired elder bowed again and said with a smile, "Your Majesty is broad-minded, far-sighted, and talented. We admire you. I wonder if Your Majesty has anything else to say? If there's nothing else, we'll leave first." Zhao Fu thought for a moment and said, "There's nothing else." The black-haired elder smiled and bowed again. "Then we'll take our leave." Everyone left and immediately returned to tell the various leaders of the Alliance about the good news. Upon hearing this news, the various leaders were pleasantly surprised. Joining Qin meant that their safety would be guaranteed. In the future, they would no longer have to worry like before. If they were unlucky, they might be captured by other worlds as slaves, resulting in an even more tragic outcome. It was hard to imagine that the Alliance, which had allied together to resist Qin, was now begging to join Qin. If they knew about the situation in the future, would they have chosen to join earlier? The various factions started to prepare for a mass migration. Some unnecessary things were abandoned, and some buildings were destroyed so that they could not be left to the people of other worlds. However, most of the houses, castles, and palaces were not destroyed because it took too much effort and money to build. In the future, as Qin expanded, they might come back. The buildings that were destroyed were mostly defensive structures. The Divine Wood Kingdom naturally knew about such a large movement. A general immediately said that he would lead the Divine Wood Kingdom's army to intercept them, or else they would head to Qin. However, Divine Wood Kingdom Duan did not agree and was thinking, because those factions were too scattered, they needed a large number of soldiers to intercept them. If Qin suddenly attacked from the other side, it would cause massive losses to the Divine Wood Kingdom. When he had just arrived, he had heard about how terrifying the Qin Empire was. As such, he did not dare to be careless when facing Qin. Chapter 3189. Book 1, Chapter 134 inches the end. Divine Wood Duan did not give the order to stop them. Now that the Alliance was gone, the Divine Wood Nation Medicine would have to face Qin. This matter needed to be discussed, and future plans needed to be made. Divine Wood Duan summoned a few leaders of the Alliance and told them in detail about Qin. Some of them flattered and said that the Divine Wood Nation was very powerful. Although Qin had some power, it could be easily destroyed. They also said that Divine Wood Duan was the true master of this land. Divine Wood Duan naturally did not believe these words. After hearing the details about Qin and learning everything about Qin, Divine Wood Duan was shocked. He had underestimated Qin and began to respect Qin's son. With his ability, he admitted that he could not reward such a powerful empire in 20 years. On Qin's side, they were also worried that the Divine Wood Nation would attack the people who were moving Qin. There were too many of them. There were not only soldiers, but there were also commoners who could not fight. Furthermore, they were carrying many things, so their progress was slow. If they suddenly attacked the Divine Wood Nation, it would cause these factions to suffer heavy losses. Qin had also sent an army to receive them. Thankfully, the Divine Wood Nation did not attack. Qin's army brought those factions back to Qin one after another. With Qin's support, the factions felt more at ease. They entered Qin with smiles. In the hall, the leaders bowed to Zhao Fu. "Greetings, Your Majesty." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. "Welcome to Qin. I have already ordered people to prepare a banquet to welcome all of you." Everyone smiled. "Thank you, Your Majesty," said a coquettish woman at the banquet with a smile. "I originally thought that Your Majesty was very terrifying. Now that we have interacted with each other, I realize that Your Majesty is very good. We should enter Qin earlier." Upon hearing this, the leaders of the other factions smiled and nodded. Everyone had heard of how brutal Qin was and how terrifying Qin's master was. They had always been afraid of Zhao Fu. Now that they had interacted with Zhao Fu and tore apart the mysterious veil, they realized that Zhao Fu was not as terrifying as the rumors said. Their previous worries seemed unnecessary. "Your Majesty, let me offer you a toast," the charming woman said with a smile. Zhao Fu smiled as he picked up a cup and drank it in one gulp. The other leaders also drank the wine in their cups. A middle-aged man asked, "Your Majesty, what's Qin going to do next? Will he confront the Shenmu kingdom head-on?" Everyone looked at Zhao Fu. They were more concerned about this issue. Zhao Fu said with a smile, "Qin does not intend to expand. If the Divine Wood Kingdom dares to attack, then Qin will fight back." The situation in the Heaven Awakened world was not suitable for expansion, as the larger one's territory was, the weaker one's control would be. Qin's main task was to develop and solidify his strength. The middle-aged man asked, "How confident is Your Majesty in dealing with the Divine Wood Kingdom?" Everyone was a little nervous. They had just joined Qin, and if Qin was destroyed by the Divine Wood Kingdom, then they would have made the wrong choice. Zhao Fu lightly laughed. Qin did not even fear the allied armies of the various kingdoms, so why would I fear the Divine Wood Kingdom? To you, the Divine Wood Kingdom is incredibly powerful, but it is nothing to Qin. If he dares to attack, it will be his death." Hearing this, everyone felt at ease and smiled. That was right. Even the alliance of so many kingdoms in the ancient STEM domain had not been able to destroy Qin. So how could the Divine Wood Kingdom destroy Qin? Everyone toasted to Zhao Fu. After the banquet ended, Zhao Fu headed to another world's base to complete some things that he had not been able to do before. In the end, Zhao Fu returned to the Heaven Awakened world and thought of something before going to the underworld. The underworld and godly world were also being attacked by the card world and alchemy world, but the numbers were much smaller. Qin's bases in the godly world and underworld had not been attacked yet. The reason why Zhao Fu came here was because he had suddenly remembered that he had not come to see his 12 skeleton cavalrymen in a long, long time. Right now, the 12 skeleton cavalrymen were at the bottom of the Yellow Springs, absorbing Yellow Springs' power to grow. Zhao Fu came above the Yellow Springs and waved his hand, causing a wave of law energy to spread out. The massive Yellow Springs River automatically parted, revealing the bottom of the Yellow Springs. The 12 skeleton cavalrymen sat cross-legged together while the 12 skeleton warhorses stood guard. The skeleton cavalrymen had gone through great changes. Their bones seemed to be platinum, and their armor had become platinum with pictures of the Yellow Springs on them. Their weapons had also become platinum, and there were many mutilated corpses engraved on them. The soul flames in their heads had become platinum, and they seemed to have an eternal and undying aura. The auras that the 12 skeleton cavalrymen gave off were also quite terrifying. They were far more powerful than when Zhao Fu had come to see them last time. They continuously absorbed Yellow Spring's power and raised it to the limit. Zhao Fu gave a trace of smile. These skeleton cavalrymen had made great contributions to Qin, and Zhao Fu had not forgotten about them. The 12 skeleton cavalrymen's soul flames flickered as they looked up at Zhao Fu and respectfully knelt on one knee as they said, "King." They no longer sounded as clumsy and sluggish as before, and their voices now contained a boundless, deathly aura, as if they were from hell. When they saw Zhao Fu this time, they felt a massive impact in their hearts because they could sense that Zhao Fu had become even more terrifying. Even though their strength had increased by so much, Zhao Fu still gave them a feeling that he was unreachable. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You've all grown quite well. Continue to cultivate. I just came to see you. Is there anything else?" The skeleton cavalryman said, "King, when will we be able to return to the battlefield?" Zhao Fu thought for a moment before smiling as he said, "Qin is no longer the Qin from back then. If you want to return to the battlefield, you need to break the signs of your power and allow your power to enter the next stage. Only then will I allow you to return." The skeleton cavalryman said, "Yes." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Continue to cultivate." Zhao Fu waved his hand, and the Yellow Springs started to merge again. The skeleton cavalrymen once again sat cross-legged on the ground and began to absorb the Yellow Springs' power. They desired to fight, to kill, and to die. They wanted to break through to the next realm as soon as possible. After seeing the 12 skeleton cavalrymen, Zhao Fu returned to Qin and prepared to head to the water realm. However, something disrupted Zhao Fu's plans because another faction had spawned near Qin, and it was an alchemy faction. After this alchemy faction appeared, it was not in a hurry to attack, and it first gathered information. Now, there were 4 factions in this area. Qin was a native, while the other 3 were other factions. Zhao Fu also sent people to gather information on this alchemy faction. After hearing about this, Divine would Duan frown because this also disrupted his plans. Chapter 3190. Book 1. Chapter 135, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here, this alchemist family was called the Feng family, and it was a royal kingdom-level family. Its holy beast was a type of blue bird, and even though its attack power was quite average, it seemed to have some sort of special ability. The person in charge of this operation was the Feng family's young master, Wind on Snow. Perhaps it was because of Qin, but the appearance of so many royal kingdom-level factions at the edge of a world was quite unusual. The Feng family was quite cautious and did not stupidly charge at Qin like the other factions. Otherwise, Qin would have shown them what it felt like to feel pain. Zhao Fu and his subordinates were discussing the Feng family's matters. The Feng family was also gathering their elders to discuss this matter. This region made the Feng family feel quite strange. The Feng family's faction was not weak, and it should have spawned in the central region. Why had it appeared here? This region was quite big, but there were only 3 factions. 2 of them were factions from other worlds, and the last one was a local faction in the Heaven Awakened world. What was even more strange was that this local faction seemed to have allied with the Alchemist World's faction. Weren't they enemies? How could they have allied with it? A tall, slim, and wise-looking woman called Feng Ling Hui said, "I feel that this Qin is quite special and has shocking power. We have to be careful when dealing with him." The voluptuous woman called Feng Jiao lightly laughed as she said, "That's not necessarily the case. Perhaps this faction is trying to ally with another alchemist faction, which is why they've survived. Otherwise, they would have been destroyed long ago." A beautiful woman with a haughty aura, Feng Yumin, said, "I think so too. Otherwise, how could there only be one Heaven Awakened World faction in such a large region?" The beautiful woman with a seductive figure, Feng Xiao, said, "The key is that he's our only target. Apart from him, we can only attack 2 other factions or go further away to find Heaven Awakened World factions." A beautiful woman with a fit and bright figure, Feng Xiaoyang, said, Also, it won't be easy to get rid of him because he's allied with another alchemist faction. If we attack him, we'll have to face another alchemist faction. A beautiful woman with fair skin and a cold and alluring aura, Feng Yintian, said, I think we should retreat and respawn somewhere else. The beautiful woman wearing a white dress, Feng Ling Yao, said, if we go back like this, not only will the Feng clan lose face, but we will also be punished by the rules. This will be disadvantageous to us. The last one was Feng Lingyu, a beautiful woman with a graceful figure. She looked up at Wind on Snow and asked, Young master, what do you think? Do you want to stay here or return to the alchemy world? A cold beauty sat on top. She was Wind on Snow. She pondered and said, I want to see what's so special about this Qin. This is also the first time I'm leading you into a world war. I don't want to go back like this. Hearing this, the crowd did not say anything. They did not know what they were going to face next. The Jin family received a message, saying, the Feng family asked the Jin family to give up the alliance with Qin. After Qin is killed, the Jin family can give half of it to the Jin family. Jin Tai came to Zhao Fu as soon as he heard the news. He knew that the Feng family had not figured out the situation yet. It was not that Qin begged the Jin family not to fight, but that the Jin family was afraid of Qin. Jin Tai already knew that the Jin family was no match for Qin. Your Majesty, what do you think? Jin Tai looked at Zhao Fu nervously and asked. At this moment, Jin Tai knew that Zhao Fu was already an emptiness realm expert. He admired Zhao Fu even more. Zhao Fu smiled and said, promise her that the Feng family will attack Qin. Then I, Qin, will hold the Feng family back. The Jin family will attack from the back. Strive to destroy the Feng family. Jin Tai smiled and said, Your Majesty is wise. The Feng family soon received the news. Jin Tai promised that he was willing to dissolve the alliance with Qin. He was also willing to retreat the army a certain distance away and promise not to interfere with the war. Feng Xiaoyang smiled and said, Young lord, we will immediately gather the army and attack Qin. Feng Xiaoxiao smiled and said, I heard that the master of Qin is quite fond of women. After Qin is killed, let me play with him. Feng Lingyao snorted and said, a scourge like him should be castrated. Who will want to keep him? Feng Linghui advised seriously, Young lord, don't be in a hurry to attack. The Jin family agreed too easily. They might be plotting something. Feng Xiaoxiao smiled and said, they don't have to do anything and they can have half of Qin. Who wouldn't be willing? I think you're thinking too much. Feng Lingyu said, I don't think we need to worry too much. The alchemy world and the heaven awakened world are enemies. Why would two enemies form an alliance? Feng Yumin smiled and said, I think we can attack. With the Feng family's strength, even if they're plotting something, we can deal with it. Seeing that Wind on Snow was still unwilling to attack, Feng Linghui called out, Young lord, Wind on Snow said in a low voice, let's wait a little longer. It seemed that Wind on Snow was still very cautious and was not in a hurry to attack. She felt that this was quite strange. On the other side, Qin and the Jin family were ready and waiting for the Feng family to attack. However, the Feng family did not move at all. Zhao Fu asked Jin Tai to send someone to ask. The Feng family's reply was, don't be in a hurry to attack Qin. We need to take it step by step. Their agreement is still valid. He felt that he had been tricked by the Feng family. Zhao Fu felt quite angry and wanted to take the initiative to attack. Shimu Duan's original plan was to digest this region and then attack Qin. He was not too willing to attack the Alchemy World faction because there were no benefits. After hearing that the Feng family was going to attack Qin, he was quite happy to see this happen. He wanted to use this opportunity to destroy the three factions and become the overlord of this region. However, the Feng family did not attack, which made him quite disappointed. Now, Shimu Duan would not attack first. He wanted to see what would happen next. Zhao Fu thought about it and asked Jin Tai to negotiate with the Feng family to see if he could gain their trust. Zhao Fu understood that the Feng family would not be easy to deal with. The Feng family knew that Jin Tai wanted to negotiate and did not refuse. They wanted to understand what kind of faction the Jin family was so that they could better defend against them. However, for safety's sake, Wind on Snow sent Feng Linghui to negotiate with the Jin family. Feng Linghui was Wind on Snow's most trusted person. She should be able to handle this matter well and give Wind on Snow a good explanation. Under Feng Linghui's suggestion, Wind on Snow purposely leaked this secret information to Qin so that the Jin family and Qin family would have an internal conflict. Zhao Fu saw through all of their schemes and gave a disdainful smile. He immediately made some small movements as if he was on guard against the Jin family, making the Feng family feel quite pleased. Chapter 3191. Book 1, Chapter 136. Feng Linghui took a team of soldiers to the Jin family's base and observed the surroundings. Feng Linghui was quite surprised and felt that the Jin family was not weak. However, with the Jin family's strength, it should be easy for them to destroy Qin. Why did they choose to destroy Qin instead of Qin? What was the reason? Feng Linghui was quite confused, and she felt that she could figure it out this time. The Jin family had no reason to hide this from Feng Linghui. They came to a large hall. Jin Tai looked at Feng Linghui and said, "Why are you alone? Why didn't the Feng family's master come? Does he look down on the Jin family?" Feng Linghui smiled as she said, "It's not convenient for our young master to leave. I'm her most trusted person and can make some decisions on her behalf. I'll tell our young master the truth about this negotiation. Please forgive us." Jin Tai said angrily, "The Jin family has retreated far away. Why didn't you attack? We lost face, and Qin is suspicious of us." Feng Linghui smiled as she said, "I'm very sorry. We didn't think it through. I brought a gift to apologize to you." The guards immediately carried out boxes of jewelry. Jin Tai said calmly, "I won't make a fuss about it this time. I hope you won't do it again." Feng Linghui smiled as she said, "I won't." Jin Tai asked, "How do you plan to attack Qin?" "The Jin family will cooperate with you." Feng Linghui smiled and did not answer. Instead, she smiled as she asked, "I'm a bit confused. Why did the Jin family ally with Qin instead of destroying Qin? I believe that with the Jin family's strength, they can dominate a region." Jin Tai thought to himself, the Feng family doesn't know how monstrous Qin is. The Jin family's strength is not enough. If it wasn't for the fact that the Jin family is of some value to Qin, they would have been destroyed by Qin long ago. Jin Tai would not say these things, and he did not know how to answer Feng Linghui's question. Zhao Fu walked in and smiled as he said, "I can sue you." Feng Linghui looked at the cloaked man and asked curiously, "Who are you?" Jin Tai said with a smile, "He is Qin's master." Feng Linghui's expression changed drastically when she heard this. Why has the master of Qin State appeared here? Feng Linghui soon remembered everything. From the beginning, the Jin family had no intention to break the alliance with Qin. Instead, they had been setting up a trap to destroy the Feng family. Fortunately, the Feng family did not attack, or the result would be unimaginable. Now, Feng Linghui also understood that she could not escape. Without panicking, he calmly asked, "What's your purpose in doing this?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "What purpose could there be? It's as simple as destroying your Feng clan." Jin Tai also said with a smile, "With Qin's power, how could your Feng clan resist? You'd better surrender to Qin as soon as possible, or you'll suffer." Feng Linghui was shocked. With the power of the Jin family, they were flattering Qin. This Qin's power was not ordinary. It was almost the same as she had expected. Now, she understood why an alchemist faction would ally with a Heaven Awakened World faction. The Heaven Awakened World faction was simply too powerful, and the alchemist faction was forced to ally with a Heaven Awakened World faction. Feng Linghui said, "With your Jin family's power, you might not be able to destroy Qin, but with our two families' power, we should be able to destroy Qin. We're both alchemist factions, so we're on the same side. I can understand that you're under pressure, but you need to know that Qin is just using you. He'll make a move against you sooner or later." Hearing this, Jin Tai understood this and felt quite conflicted. Zhao Fu looked at Jin Tai. This caused Jin Tai to stop thinking, and he called out, Don't try to deceive me with your lies. The alliance between the Jin family and Qin state is unbreakable. Fengling Hui frowned. Just how powerful was Qin for the Jin family's young master to be so afraid? Zhao Fu said in satisfaction, "Don't worry. If there's no need, I won't act against the Jing family. You can leave now." Jin Tai heaved a sigh of relief and left the hall. Zhao Fu smiled as he walked towards Fengling Hui. A group of soldiers stood in front of Fengling Hui. Fengling Hui said, "What do you want to do to me?" With a smile, Zhao Fu waved his hand, and a huge force sent the soldiers flying. They fell to the ground and fainted. Fengling Hui's expression turned ugly. The strength of the master of Qin state wasn't just ordinary. Now that she thought about it, the most obvious choice for the Feng family was to leave this area. However, no one would have thought that a monster like Qin would be in the border region. Zhao Fu walked up to Fengling Hui. Fengling Hui looked at Zhao Fu coldly. Zhao Fu gave a trace of smile and lifted Fengling Hui's chin. Fengling Hui didn't resist. She knew that it was meaningless to resist. After a long time, Zhao Fu held Fengling Hui in his arms and said, "You can go back now." Fengling Hui was surprised. "You want me to go back to the Feng family?" Zhao Fu nodded with a smile. Fengling Hui said, "Aren't you afraid that I'll leak this out? Or do you want me to go back and be a chess piece to get information for you?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "You're smart indeed. I want you to go back and help me destroy the Feng family." Fengling Hui said coldly, "You should know that I won't betray the Feng family. How do you plan to force me?" Zhao Fu said with a smile, "You'll know when you go back." Fengling Hui said, "Can I leave now?" Zhao Fu nodded and replied, "Yes." Fengling Hui immediately put on her clothes and left the Jin family. She planned to tell Wind on Snow about this important news. She didn't know what Zhao Fu was going to do, but she didn't want to care. She hurried back to the Feng family and found Wind on Snow. Just as she was about to speak, her body stiffened. Wind on Snow asked curiously, "What's wrong?" Fengling Hui now knew what Zhao Fu was going to do. Her body was already under his control. After understanding this, Fengling Hui gave up on telling Wind on Snow. Her body regained its freedom, and she said, "Nothing." Wind on Snow asked, "What did you gain from your negotiation with the Jin family this time?" Fengling Hui tried and realized that she couldn't say anything about the Jin family. She could only answer, "Nothing." Wind on Snow continued to ask, "What did you discuss with the young master of the Jin family?" Fengling Hui couldn't say anything and said again, "Nothing." Wind on Snow frowned and looked at Fengling Hui. She was a little disappointed. She said, "You can leave now." Fengling Hui left the room and immediately wanted to take out a dagger to end her life. She was worried that it would endanger the Feng family. But just as she had this thought, her body stiffened on the spot. A wave of heat emanated from her body. This made Fengling Hui hate Zhao Fu very much. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.